1909, on the Mexican border.
Busy on Saturdays. Think O'Neill play? You're not playing now, Pies, are we?
This sports broadcast is proudly sponsored by your locally owned Telstra stores, Quadrant, Kings Meadows and the Brisbane Street Mall.
Welcome to Windsor Park. It's second semi-final action here. North Launceston versus Lauderdale. The prize for the winner, of course, is a spot in the grand final. The TSL grand final coming up in 2 weeks. The loser will face Launceston next week. Venue yet to be decided, depending on who that team is. Let's get a quick preview in before we have that first bounce, and I'd like to introduce the team this afternoon. First of all, Matthew McGee.
Yeah, good afternoon, Foz, and good afternoon to all of our listeners here in Launceston via the City Park Radio, and also all around the state and everywhere else on the online stream.
And also our expert commentator, Michael Maxie Walker. G'day, Max.
Good afternoon, Foz. Good afternoon, Macca. Good afternoon, Groobs. And good afternoon, listeners.
Yes.
What we hope will be a very, very good game of football between what could be arguably the two best sides in Tassie.
With our stats man here, Dave Gruber, and out on the ground, enjoying the sunshine, we've got Chris Sayer, our boundary rider. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, boys. Lovely day out here. Very pleasant 14 degrees, which is the maximum for the day. The teams have just run out. I noticed North Launceston are in the visitors' change rooms, and I had a quick word to Scott Stevens before the game here a little while ago. They're very happy with that. he didn't know whether it was their choice or not, but they're happy to have the visitors' change rooms. It's the one they're used to whenever they play here for Launceston. But of course, they're the better change rooms, more space, and they have access to the gymnasium out the back. And slight breeze to the southern town end. I don't know, 2 goals maybe. Cloudless sky, a bit of rain forecast later in the day, but I don't think we'll see it. And I look forward to a big game.
Fantastic, Chris. Look forward to hearing it from you during the day.
It's also Lauderdale wearing the red, black and grey hoops.
Yes, that's
of course. North having their traditional Guernsey.
Absolutely. So, talk to you at quarter time. Thank you to Chris Sayer there on the boundary.
Okay.
And let's look at the two teams. First of all, we'll start with North Launceston. What do you make of them, Macca? They've had the week off. They're pretty much full strength, so they're a pretty strong outfit today.
Oh, very strong, Foz, and the two inclusions, the youngsters from the Tassie Devils in Callow and Mansell, just strengthens them up, doesn't it? And look, I predict, Max, today that they're probably just going to be too good, too well drilled. They play this ground well against Launceston when they play here, so that doesn't hold any fears. And of course, Lauderdale, their form line isn't great, but if we look at the North Launceston lineup, you know, just the Cox Goodyears and the Bannisters and that, Max, they've played in premierships. They just know what's going on, don't they?
Yep, they certainly do, Macca, and I agree with every sentiment that you said there. It'll be, I think the heat will be on pretty early, but I think the experience of North Launceston will stand out in the end, and I'd expect them to win by about somewhere between 4 and 6 goals.
How do you see that forward line working, Macca? You've got McCulloch, you've got Callow, Donnelly, a lot of similar
Callow's got the youngster in Callow. He's got great endurance. He'll work up and down the ground. I think you saw him a few weeks ago, and he did just that. He's got great endurance. He'll present up. McCulloch will stay pretty much at home. And look, Donnelly and Edmonds give them a real versatility. Edmonds has been really impressive since he came into the senior side. He takes a really good mark. And Donnelly just gives them flexibility right across the ground. He can play wing and also defence. Let's
switch our attention now to the Lauderdale team. Of course, we talked about some key players that are out, but there's still a lot of experience in there, isn't there? A lot of finals experience.
Yeah, well, we should announce that officially that Josh Williams is out today, and also Josh McGuinness. He's out, and that is added to Wiggins, didn't come up from an injury, and also Mitch Anderton's out suspended. So 4 of their best, 18 players are out today, which could, in the end, really mean, the difference between a win or a loss. Of course, Lauderdale have defeated Launceston, North Launceston twice this year, but I think both of those games are in sort of wet, mucky conditions throughout winter, and today is perfect day. Ground conditions and that are great. So, Jacob Gilby brings AFL experience, doesn't he? And, you've still got 2 McGuinnesses there. Robbie McManus, I think, is a key player. We saw him here against Launceston one day off a wing, and he was just really good with his run, Max, wasn't he, Robbie McManus?
And Max, they've got some players who can score goals up there. They've got the excitement of Karen Ewer and Alex Saunders, etc.
Yeah, they have, Foz, and they're going to rely pretty heavily on those 2 or 3 guys to kick their goals, where the spread amongst North, I think, will be telling.
You say that, Foz, but looking up the stats for the year, Saunders is their leading goal kick with 19.
Yep.
You compare that to a North Launceston where Cox Goodyears kicked 45, Whitford's 30, McCulloch and Bannister both above 20. Maybe that's going to be an issue for Lauderdale today, whether if they can get the ball through the middle, who is going to kick their goals.
I know Jacob Gilby was shifted forward last week. He's played a bit back, a bit forward, but to me, he's a key forward in that team.
Yeah, look, he's missed a few games with injury and unavailability and things, but, Sammy Siggins will play on ball. Do they throw him up forward to take a mark? But look, it's going to be the midfield battles. It's your Ponting and Cox Goodyear up against your likes of Bryce Walsh, Franklin and Bell Chambers. So look, that's where it's going to be won and lost, definitely in that midfield.
Sam Burge, one to look out for too. He's had a really impressive debut season.
He has had a really good season. Also, the defender in Trupp, he's impressed me as well. Down back, the blonde bombshell down there.
Okay, players taking up their positions. I haven't been down at ground level for a while, but what do you think of the breeze today?
Look, Chris said it was a couple of goals towards the city end, whether it's that much or not. That's normally the scoring end anyway. Yep. And Jackie Avent went and took the toss because, of course, it's his 150th game today, Jackie Avent, and also Taylor Whitford. So congratulations to those 2 premiership players at North Launceston, multiple premierships, Whitford and also Avent. Avent won the toss, and they're going to kick towards the city end of the ground, North Launceston.
Max Whitford starting in the middle.
Yep, he is. And like you said, who's gone to him? It's... who's that? Bryce Walsh on him at the moment. No, he's on Cox Goodyear.
I think it's Bell Chambers.
Yeah, so look, some really good matchups. Whether North Launceston, I think they're just too well structured today. Lauderdale are going to have to play at their very, very best And let's see whether Darren Winter brings something different. Great ruck battle, Max, between big Hayden Smith and Alex Lee.
Yeah, big improver this year, Hayden Smith. Polled pretty well in media awards and so forth, so will be a contest to watch.
Definitely. There's the siren. Second semi-final about to get underway. You listen to City Park Radio and via the online stream for the TSL. Umpire's going to bounce the ball. Beautiful bounce to start the game. Smith and Lee. Smith's going to get the ball. He overruns it. Whitford off the deck. Quick kick. Goes inside 50 North Launceston. Well done, Lauderdale. They work it out by hand. Comes out here now to the far side. Going up and taking an excellent mark there for North Launceston is the youngster in Bennett. So they moved the ball well, Lauderdale, but turned it over on centre wing. Bennett inside 50. Going up there for Lauderdale was Wish Wilson, and the ball goes out of bounds. Left forward pocket just inside the forward 50 for North Launceston. So already 2 inside 50s for the Northern Bombers up against the Southern Bombers today. And quick kick out of the middle for Whitford. We've seen him play very much forward this year, but he started himself in the middle. Smith gets the tap down, and as far as Walsh, who puts the tackle on his North Launceston opponent, the umpire's circle. You think there might be a few little afters today, Max, at times?
Possibly, Macca, yeah. There always tends to be between these two clubs.
Darren Winter's been pretty vocal about that in the last encounter. Said there was a bit going off behind the play. And this is still a little bit of pushing and shoving. Ball still inside 50. North Launceston's end of the ground. Walsh sort of just pushes the ball into Whitford's chest. I don't know what really that was for, but anyway. Smith down. Whitford circling. Whitford again. Quick hands. Bennett can't take it. In fact, the umpire's called it a throw. No, it's going to be a free kick back behind.
Tackle, I think.
Sling tackle. So that was probably on the throw because he was very quick hands. And Whitford's going to take the free kick just inside the 50 is Bell Chambers. And Whitford, 3 or 4 touches early, although scrappy with the footy. He's going to have a shot for goal. Is the coach, Taylor Whitford.
It's a pretty good set shot from distance. I've seen him convert these before.
Whitford, a little bit of breeze at his back. Breaks the 50 now. Starts it on line. Is it going to hold? Just hits the post. So Taylor Whitford, the first score of the day. It looked good, but it was always missing near side. Just didn't start it out wide enough. And Lauderdale are going to take the result and kick in.
Okay, so start for North Launceston. I think that's Alex Hill back there who's going to take the kicking in duties. Kicks it wide. Bennett again nearly takes a mark. Inside 50 there by Connor Young, well up the ground. Contest near the goal square. Billy Evans taps it on. They work it out here through McManus, although now taken by Egger. Tackled by Perkins. And he's tackled to a standstill about 15 out from goal. So deep in attack. So the early parts of this game will be important. Although we want to hold North Launceston and stay in this contest. Here's Rushton meeting the ball. That's Bannister swinging for goal. He's offline. It's going to drift off to the left. It's 1 behind. So 2 behinds now to North Launceston. Launceston yet to score. 2.5 minutes in to this first quarter. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5 and via the TSL live stream. Finals action here at Windsor Park. 2 people in the ground today. No local footy on or AFL. So hopefully we'll get a really good contest here as Hill again launches wide. Off the contest, Burge, who's had a bit of a haircut since I last seen him. Baker in there. Well, modern high tackle on the Lauderdale player. Bennett. Richter Solder. Cox Goodger. It's tight. Burge now emerges. It's a handball backwards to Baker. Takes it. Back to Burge. All under pressure. They've done well. Now off half back through Bell Chambers. Kicks towards half forward. Here's Van Buren in the TSL team of the year. Pursued by Gilby. On the right foot, Van Buren. Doesn't get full measure of the kick. So heavy tackles laid. Play on now through Egger, who'll clear from half back for North Launceston.
Sharon Egger, the speed start, goes down and finds Jackie Rushton. Inside handball. Oh, big clash there between the 2 players. Bannister tries to put a tackle on and does so, holding the ball up. Here's Rushton. Ball comes out now. Saunders up front. Oh, he just finds his player in front of the interchange box there. Try and get a read on him.
Ray Hill, I think.
Ray Hill comes in, finds Heavey. It's hard to see, as always is, those Lauderdale numbers, Dave, on the back of those jumpers.
Yep.
There are white numbers on that background. Just hard to see. But this is Heavey. Inside 50, Van Buren gets the repelling kick. Back to centre wing. Good punch there, Lauderdale from Oscar Shaw. Just comes out in front of the interchange boxes. Good tackle, Rushton. And the ball's going to either be out of bounds or a ball up, and it's going to be a throw-in, I believe. Right in front of the interchange steward's box. And umpire Dom Shaliro is going to sling it back into play. So a tentative start, some big clashes, but not a real lot happening at the moment in terms of clear possession. You probably expect that in the second semi-final. Really in tight. Siggins, quick snap over the top. Just to half forward. Still no inside 50s yet, Lauderdale. They try to get away with it. Could be a trip. And it is a trip. It's going to go to North Launceston. And it's a free kick to Mansell. One of the inclusions today, coming off a pretty solid season, Ryan Mansell in the Devils as a 19-year-old. Played the whole season. They tried a lot of the 19-year-olds. Inside 50, the ball goes. Edmonds by hand. Tepper has a good look at him. Does Jordan Tepper? He gets the first for the day. He's a South Launceston Premiership player. Moved along this year over to North Launceston. And it was a good goal, Jordan Tepper.
Great goal and good positioning by young Will Edmonds off the pack there, front and centre. Hit it at pace.
19-year-olds, inside 50, the ball goes. Edmonds by hand. Tepper
had to Pepper and right in front from about 35, 40 out. Kicked it clearly on the left, straight through the middle. Macca?
Yeah, he's got good skills. He had a really good season last year with South Launceston, win the NTFA Best and Fairest. And great to see players like that coming over and pushing themselves at the TSL level. And he's been a really good player for North Launceston, playing midfield forward this year, has Jordan Tepper.
Launceston earlier today won the under-18s, 9-13-67 to the Tigers, 6-38. I'll get the TSLW score in a second, but we're back underway.
Smith finds Siggins, and the umpire's blown another whistle. It's going to be a holding, and it's going to go to Siggins.
Siggins, defensive side of the centre circles. He launches here towards attacking 50, holds up a little bit in the breeze. Foon's in there, but it's cleared them both.
Baker.
And mark's taken by Nick Baker. His parents are up here, right next to us. Nick Baker, this way, that away. Then he goes left on the left foot. Little chip kick, and it's a good one. Mark's taken in there by Nick Raglioni, who's usually, I've seen him in defence, not usually drifting up forward, but he's within scoring distance. So good work there from Nick Baker. He's got himself clear. And that little kick results in a shot on goal for Nick Raglioni.
Yeah, good work by Baker. We've seen him play midfield and defence, and started the season in the Devils, and then found his way back at Lauderdale. Did Nick Baker. Well, he didn't have great form early on, but he's starting just to string a few games together as the youngster in Baker.
Raglioni, 45 out, slightly right of centre, not a bad kick. It's the first on the board of Lauderdale. Goal to Raglioni. And you can hear the fans next to us here. They like that one. So it's 1 goal straight, 6 now. Lauderdale trailing North Launceston 1 goal, 2-8. And first goal there for the Southern Bombers, Maxi.
Really good goal, Macca. Good finish there by Raglioni. And a very nice left foot kick, and something's happened here. There's a whistle.
The umpire doesn't need to give that away. Tepper was having a go at Hayden Smith. It was the small versus the tall. I don't know what. I thought the umpire was going to play a free kick, but I think he said, just get out of it, which he should have done. And said, go and play footy, boys. And Tepper, he's trying to get under their skin a little bit here. Cox Goodger. He's with Walsh, the two redheads, off the ground. Goes up in front. Does Cox Goodger do Bannister? Well done there, Sam Walsh. Over to Siggins. They need their good players to play well. Lauderdale to be a chance today. They're starting to do so. Here's Burge. Hits it hard to Sammy Burge. Tries to tap it off. He can't do so. Ponting. First touch of leather today for Ponting. And he's beset upon right back in the centre circle where it all begun. And, geez, they're barrelling in, Max.
They are, and every stoppage, like you called earlier, Macca, there's a little bit of tension.
Yeah, good to see. That's what you'd expect. Second semi-final. Everything on the line for a grand final spot. Coming through here now is Egger. Gets the handball away. Jeremiah Perkins by hand. Over the top here now to Karanaya. He breaks the 50, gives a bit of candy. Does Karanaya, he goes to the top of the square. Touched off hands. Henry Karanaya. And, geez, he's exciting when he gets a little bit of space. They'll be trying to shut that down, the Northern Bombers, and Van Buren is going to take the resultant kick in.
Van Buren, boy from the northwest coast, kicks long outside defensive 50 to the centre of Windsor Park. It's a beautiful long kick, almost cut off there, but North Launceston through Ponting on the bottom of the contest. There'll be a ball up.
I think there's the win, Foz. That kick there went, well inside the square, whereas Karanaya probably didn't hit the kick as well, but he struggled to get it to the top of the goal square before. So might be right, a couple of goal breeze down towards the city end.
Tosses the ball up, does the umpire. Hayden Smith wins it. Shark there by Bannister. Kicks the ball forward now for North Launceston. Wadley first there. He backtracks, then he goes on the right foot wide. Probably not the best spot on a day like this, but you might have found Donnelly over there. Nice strong mark from Tom Donnelly. So he's marked too far out to score. There's Donnelly. Sums up his options. Decides just to chip it to the hot spot. McCulloch bustled out of it by Trupp. They're working hard in defence. That's Alex Hill. Kicks it all. Big fly there from Sutton, I think it was. Kicks inside 50 from Bannister. Straight to McCulloch. So McCulloch marks 20 metres out directly in front. And Bannister there just got the ball forward quickly.
Well, look, it was a fortunate kick, but Trupp and also Hill just lost their opponents, and they tried to do a bit of a switch. I think Trupp went to the deeper opponent, and Alex Hill just couldn't find McCulloch. And McCulloch takes the mark 30 metres out directly in front.
So Bart McCulloch should convert this, player of his experience.
6-1, the clearance is North Launceston's way, Max. So definitely on top there, the Bombers, Northern Bombers that is.
McCulloch for goal. Umpire doesn't move. That's a second on the board for North Launceston. 2 goals, 2-14 to 1-1-7. Goals to McCulloch and Tepper for the Northern Bombers.
You're right about that kick, Dave, from Bannister. It was just a bit of a rush kick and probably fortunate that it landed in the hands of Bart McCulloch, but also, like we pointed out, it was poor organisation back there in the south from Lauderdale, in the back line from Lauderdale, and you can't leave a guy of Bart McCulloch's ability and height standing alone in the forward line.
Well, Trupp's initial defence was pretty good, and it was just that quick kick.
Yep.
But McCulloch it was Alex Hill that was coming back there and just couldn't find McCulloch, and McCulloch went back and kicked the goal. Not a great bounce, and Lee gets the hit out, but only goes as far as Bell Chambers. He's going to go hand here to Franklin, former Mariners skipper. Out over the front here of Karen Nyer. Good match up him in an event, a 150 game, a Jackie event. And ball goes out of bounds, centre wing.
Getting down to Chris Taylor on the boundary very quickly.
Yes, Bryce Walsh is, for Lauderdale's got heavily strapped right knee. He's moving quite freely, but gee, there's a lot of tape on that knee.
Cheers, Chris.
I was just thinking the same thing there, and I'll tell you what, his foot slipped a little bit there as well, right at that clearance. Here's Perkins, overran the footy. Needs to be cleaner there. Bannister's going to barge through. Gives it to Tepper. Has a look at him. Up front. Tries to hit the teammate. He can't do so. Coming down the front here now by hands. It was Mansell that had a snap. And he misses right side. That was Jackson Callow coming out from full forward deep. And he found Mansell, his Devils teammate, who had a snap and missed. They go to the pocket to Lauderdale. Right over there, this is Wish Wilson. Going to come up the line. He's got Smith. Ball definitely holding up, Max. Walsh gets it at the bottom. Quick kick, but Avent gets the fortunate to be in front. Goes to play on. Goes right. Comes back left. Here's Richter Solder. Left foot. Looking up here for Bannister. Well done there by Jeremiah Perkins. And it goes out of bounds off hands inside 50.
Yeah, you're right. Poor there as well. Like a little bit of movement in the ground. It looks very, very firm with all the rain we've had in a couple of games yesterday in the grand finals here as well.
And as Fozzie said, a lot of rain. Definitely soft surface over here on the commentary wing. Franklin hack kicks it out and goes out of bounds in front of the North Launceston change rooms. So Richter Solder, some would say unlucky to miss the TSL team of the year, Foz. Richter Solder inside 50, flying there was Lee. Down the front, Bannister in everything at the moment is Bannister. Bryce Walsh the same. Could have been taken high. Umpire says play on. Franklin beset upon. Tepper inside 50. Tepper, Callow flies. Can't find it. That was Edmonds, in fact. Here he is now at ground level. Big Billy Edmonds off the ground, picking the ball up. Comes down. Could be a free kick to Lauderdale. It is. That was against Jackie Rushton. And it's going to be a free kick. 25 metres out from goal. It's going to go to Bell Chambers. Gives it off by hands quick to McManus. He was hit after he kicked it. And it's going to be a downfield free kick. Siggins, centre wing. He's got Saunders on. He's going to go there. Saunders up against Simpson. It's going to go further. And then Baker flies. Over the top. Well done, Connie Young. Here's Richter Solder. Left foot. Looks nice, but it's only going to go down as far as the Lauderdale defender there in Jeremiah Perkins.
Perkins switches the ball, but coughs it straight to Mansell. Mansell approaches the 50 from 48. Slightly off balance when he kicked, and it sprays off to the right. Sneaks in for a behind. So a couple of opportunities there for North Launceston in this first quarter. 2-4-16. Now it plays 1-1-7.
I think we're right about that breeze as well, Macca. It does seem to be holding up quite a bit in the wind, and maybe a couple of goal breeze out there.
Inside 50s for Dave Gruber, 10-2, North Launceston way.
Short kick comes out. Oscar Shaw takes it. Season in the Mariners. Pretty impressive. Played in last year's grand final side, did the young Oscar Shaw. Chip over the top to Franklin. So Nat Franklin. So played a few games now for Lauderdale. Boy from Hutchins School. He goes sideways. And still deep in defence now for Lauderdale. Switches on from Wish Wilson. Finds Oscar Shaw in the back pocket, so they're playing possession footy. Can they find an outlet?
There's the issue, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, Oscar Shaw's not the best at kicks.
So he kicks long, doesn't do too bad on this occasion. So Davies, front position.
I'm pleased he went long, Dave. That's what I'm saying. A player like that can't come back in the centre corridor or anything because he's a great defender, just struggles with that short, 15, 20 metre kick back in the corridor. Dom
Shaliro, boundary umpire. We love him on City Park Radio.
You do. One of our favourites.
He's about to hurl the ball back in. As Lee goes at it with Hayden Smith. Hayden Smith front position, down to Walsh. Kick straight away, up the wing. Up here towards Rahill and Victor Solder. It's out of bounds. Thanks to our sponsors, Telstra Stores, Quadrant Mall and Kings Meadows. And our new store in the Brisbane Street Mall. Thank you for your support. And thanks to the Tasmanian State League, AFL Tasmania, for allowing us to do this simulcast today. A nice crowd here too at Windsor Park on this sunny Sunday. Hayden Smith taps it straight to Alex Lee. Kicks towards the boundary line, spills out of bounds. 2-4-16, 1-1-7.
Didn't get a chance to talk in the pre-game, Max. They've actually lost 4 of their last 5 home and away games, did Lauderdale. They just don't look to be the Lauderdale I've seen in the past couple of years come finals time.
No, you're right, Macca, and we didn't speak about it, but it's an obviously a stat that they wouldn't really be focusing on too much, I wouldn't have thought.
As it comes down towards Mansell, he's tackled straight away. Good work now from Siggins. Left foot kick, and a mark not taken by Foon, but Connor Young on the follow-up. Kicks straight away and kicks wide out of bounds on the full. But last week, though, against Milwaukee...
But I was just about to say, Foz, if you draw a line through the horses,
yep,
bet responsibly, of course, the form guide on beating Glenorchy by a goal doesn't really look good after yesterday, does it?
That is true.
There we go. You wouldn't back him in the Melbourne Cup if he had that form line.
It's Siggins now.
Lauderdale got everything right going today. And they've started okay. This breeze, that ball holds up. Comes down the front, it's taken by Foon. Just playing in front, the North Launceston defenders. Pretty simple footy, Max. Just play in front.
Absolutely, and they're doing it really well at present.
Foon goes down to centre wing. Good hand zone here. The Lauderdale boys combine. They might have just run out of bounds and run out of the room. Umpire Shaliro hails a taxi and says, give it to me, I'm going to throw it in. I want a bit of me time, did young Dom Shaliro. He watched his journey up to TSL boundary umpire standard now, seniors. Young Dom. Ball comes down. Hayden Smith. Here's Wadley. He's set upon in a great tackle. And still a real arm wrestle. This breeze is going to be the thing. Is it going to hold up North Launceston in the second quarter like it has Lauderdale? Inside 50s continue to be dominated. Still 10-2. The ball's just been bouncing around the midfield since we did that stat last for Dave Gruber. And same thing here. So this is pretty good for Lauderdale, I reckon. I think with North Lonnie winning that breeze, they get those centre clearances. They could pile on 4 or 5. How long gone, Foz?
18.5 minutes.
18.5 minutes, Maxie. So, look, it's not too bad for Lauderdale at the moment. They can sneak a little goal at the river end of the ground. They'll be right in this.
Just in the background there, I can see J.B. Harper, Timmy Bristow, a few of the Launceston boys looking on with interest.
Having a real look. We might get to Lauderdale, Launceston at half-time. You're very impressed yesterday, Foz.
Yep, Darren Gidd will be joining us, assistant coach, so he'll be talking about yesterday's game.
Very impressed. This ball's going nowhere while we're having a chat here. It is stuck on centre wing in front of the interchange boxes, and it's been 3 or 4 ball-ups and throw-ins since we started chatting, and it's going nowhere at the minute. So Lauderdale, plenty of numbers around the footy. They've pushed a couple up. Let's see what can happen this time. There we go. The umpire's fixed that. And it's going to go to Lauderdale. It's going to go to the ruckman in Smith. Goes by hands to Walsh with that Heavily strapped right knee. Here's North Launceston. The clean hands of Ponting to Bennett, to Richter Solder, to Foon. Down the line. Comes up here now looking for Callow. He can't find it. Bellchambers on the deck. Trupp. Oh, it's a loopy handball over the top. Mansell's there. Trupp butters up. Gives the hands. They could be away. No, Franklin goes back into traffic. Gives the hands over the top to Walsh. Oh, he's dropped the footy. They're going nowhere. Are the Southern Bombers. They go backwards again. It goes back to Smith, who got the ball about 3 possessions ago. Comes up here now to Burge. He's beset upon. Here goes Cox Goodyear. He's going to build it with that cannon of a left. He goes inside 50. Fozzie Moore's boy. Rushton's going to hit him hard. This is Jackie Rushton. It comes back to McGuinness on the left foot, and Lauderdale are away.
Matt McGuinness gets it to Nat Franklin. Defensive side of the centre circles. Here's a chance for the Southern Bombers. Kicks to half forward, holds up in the breeze. Kerinoya front position, rowed by Ponting. Hands to Foon. Cruises off half back. Short distance kick. And the mark is taken on the far side by Mansell. Ryan Mansell goes short and finds Jackson Callow. The two Mariners, Devils combined, going back a year there. Callow inside 50. And nice work by Matthew McGuinness, another Devil. Knocks out of play. That's a good part about this final series, Macca. We're seeing young McGuinness, Shaw, Callow, Mansell, these sort of players coming back into their teams.
Yeah, look, I'm sure they'd like to still be in the NAB League finals, but of course they fell a little bit short there. Yeah, look, it is great. It's great. They come back, a lot better players, don't they, from playing against the high elite kids in Victoria.
It's a wrestle there between Walsh and Cox Goodyear. Cox Goodyear gets the ball. He's tackled straight away. He's not pushed in the back. No, it's going to be a ball up. So Lauderdale doing well here. We suspect there's a few goal advantage maybe towards the town end of Windsor Park. And it's holding North Launceston at bay. Here they go again, Lauderdale, but it spills out of the contest now to Tepper. Burge has got it. Gets round on his right. Good evasion. Kicks into the centre of the ground. Holds up. Avent. His milestone game. He's taken the mark. Jackie Avent. Invited now to play on. Kicks long. Kicks wide. Looking for a contest there, and it's a mark to Billy Edmonds on the second grab. Presented pretty well up against a couple.
To say they need it, Foz, is a bit of an understatement. They've had, 20 times more inside 50s than the opposition group.
13 to 2. Yep.
14 to 2. So to only walk away with, 1 goal so far, 2 goals so far. Out of all those entries, it'd be disappointing for them.
Billy Edmonds, 45 out, 45-degree angle. Umpire likes it. That's a goal to North Launceston. The impressive Billy Edmonds has kicked their third, 3-4-22. Lead Lauderdale 1-1-7. And I'll tell you what, young Billy Edmonds, he's improving with every game I see him. He's athletic type, and he's adding a little bit of spice to that north forward line.
Oh, definitely. He plays up the ground. He's got really big mitts on him, and he looks a bit awkward at times, but look, he's added something a little bit different to them as the season's progressed. And definitely can, he gets under the guard, kicks a couple, and it's a really focal forward line, isn't it, when you got Callow, McCulloch, Bannister, Edmonds all in there, and Donnelly as well. They've got some height and some agility. So what can Lauderdale do? It'd be nice for them to get another one towards the river end of the ground. Lee, not a great bounce again. Ponting, good hands. Here's Whitford. He's going to break the square with that 6-6-6 rule. Inside 50, only goes as far as the youngster in Shaw, who takes the repelling mark in the back pocket. Comes out now to Shaw. Good hit up there, Lauderdale, from Reece Sutton. Still tucked away, though. That little breeze. I'd like to probably just go down the line. He's looking left. He's going to come down the line. He's got Franklin. They fly, does the North Launceston players, and stepping over the line there for Lauderdale was Jeremiah Perkins. One of the ins, if you just joined us, Josh McGuinness and Josh Williams were both laid outs for Lauderdale. I think Josh McGuinness was probably never going to play with that hamstring injury. Been out for a few weeks now. Smith and Lee up in the ruck. Davies, one of the recruits of the year coming into this North Launceston side from down the coast at Ulverston. And it's going to be a ball up there as Burge jumps on Ponting. So Ponting, not letting him get too much clear footy at the moment. It looks like Franklin's probably playing on him. He's too good a player just to let run free as Ponting. Coming through is Avent, and he can't go any further as he's beset upon there by Bryce Walsh. Groves doesn't do the tackles, does he? But I tell you what, there's been a lot of ball ups and a lot of ball going nowhere really in this quarter. 3-1 the score. Siggins Hands over, looks for Franklin, but it only goes as far as North Launceston through Whitford. That's a nice hit up. Oh, Big Sauce puts the mitts up, can't find it. Coming in second, there was McCulloch. Good hands, Tepper. Oh, he follows up as the coach in Whitford. That's got beauty. Wow. 10 seconds ago, he was here on centre wing. He actually kicked the ball inside 50. And just like it was a training drill, he followed the ball up, as you tell all young players to do, and he snaps it around and kicks North Launceston's fourth.
A really good second effort there by young Donnelly as well. He overran the ball, ran underneath it,
Yep.
the first one, turned quickly, got the ground ball, flicked it out to his coach who was saying, give it to me, Sauce, and he did the rest, and it was a really polished finish, which you'd expect from a guy like Taylor Whitford.
Yeah, so we've seen him play a little bit more midfield time today, but I think he might be swapping with Tepper forward and sort of on ball, but just a classy finish. So now it's 4-1. Lauderdale wouldn't want any more as we tick over about the 23-minute mark of the first quarter. Lee straight down to Cox Goodger. Davies off the centre square, hits the ball hard. Ponting clean as we expect. Bennett, he shrugs the tackle easily. Over the top, here's the North Launceston juggernaut. They're starting to run. Tepper finds Big Bartholomew just inside 50. So the big Bambi is going to go back and have a look at him. You'll have to start it at the right goalpost. And thinks he's going to be a chance. He's going to have a look. Big Bartholomew. 4-4-28 North Launceston. They lead Lauderdale 1-1-7 as McCulloch lines up for their fifth. Slight breeze towards the city end. McCulloch, deliberate approach. Right on. He plays on to Big Bart. He runs on the left. Oh, comedy. Here's Siggins. Big Bart. I think he thought he was back an 18-year-old there, Maxwell.
One for the highlight reel.
One for the highlight reel or the bloopers. Here's Bell Chambers. Over the top to Sutton by hand. Smith at his bootlaces where not big Hayden Smith wants it. Lee fumbles but has enough time to go back. Only finds it as far as Siggins. Let's see what the former Geelong VFL recruit can do. But they're going nowhere by hands at the moment. Lauderdale, that's a terrible turnover. Good tackle though on Tepper, and he's going to be caught out in the footy. Lucky there, Lauderdale. I just had a little peer into the North Launceston box there, and Chris Whitford was slapping the desk. Wasn't too happy to sleep up.
A lot of animation in there. Oh, she's on.
He's on there as Oscar Shaw switches the ball. It's at half back. Oh, he's waiting for the whistle there, and he's caught this little Lauderdale player.
Jeepers.
Gives up the handball now to Cox Goodger. Back to Simpson, to Rushton. He's just going to pump it inside 50. Numbers back there with Lauderdale, though. They should take the mark back there. That's Ben McGuinness. Couldn't quite take it. Donnelly takes it. Snaps on goal. Across the face, one behind.
Happened there in the middle of the field, Foz.
Yeah, I think the whistle
Wilson.
went. Yeah, I'm not sure what he did there. He heard the whistle and just somehow stopped.
Goodness gracious. I think the umpire might have called play on and he thought he hadn't, but...
I'll get back to you in a second on Siggins' role there, Mac. In fact, while we've got a bit of a pause, what do you make of his role at the moment?
He's just at the moment, he's just trying to stop the bleeding, I think. He's just sitting back in behind the footy, and they keep kicking it to him to North Launceston.
There's up here now towards Baker, who flies high, gets a hand to it, gets it on the follow-up, gets tackle, pops without it. Yes.
Oh, geez, that's dropping the footy. Anyway, free kick to Baker.
Free kick to Baker.
Holding on.
He
was holding on because he'd already dropped it to the ground. But anyway, there's the siren.
Quarter time here at Windsor Park, 4-5-29. Lead Lauderdale 1-1-7, so a 22-point advantage to the Northern Bombers at quarter time.
Scotty Stevens rushes out of the box next door. He's going to go out and give the instructions there as the bench coach for North Launceston.
Goal kickers, Macca?
Goal kickers, all singles to North Launceston. Whitford, Tepper, McCulloch and Edmonds. And for Lauderdale, it was a single goal kicker to Raglione.
Your thoughts, Maxie?
Look, at about the 18-minute mark of that quarter, we were applauding Lauderdale for the effort that they were doing in holding out North, and we've seen what the breeze is doing to the ball, and after our initial thoughts that there wasn't too much in it, every kick was holding up into the breeze. So the last 5 or 6, 7 minutes of that quarter, North just put the foot down, kicked their 3 or 4 goals and open up a handy lead at quarter time, which it'll be really interesting to see how Lauderdale can respond to that. And I noticed the players just congregating in the middle there before they get over to the coaches, just wondering what they're saying about, hey, that wasn't good enough, guys, the last 5 or 6 minutes. We can do better than that.
It's quarter time here. We'll take a short break on City Park Radio and also the TSL live stream, and we're back in just a moment. Mark's taken in there by Nick Raglione.
I'm Daniel Johnson.
Who's usually, I've seen him in defence.
Youngster Baker.
Raglione 45 out, slightly right of centre, not a bad kick. It's the first on the board of Lauderdale. Goal to Raglioni. And you can hear the fans next to us here. They like that one. So it's a fence. That's Alex Hill. Kicks it all. Big fly there from Sutton, I think it was. Kicks inside 50 from Bannister. Straight to McCulloch. So McCulloch marks 20 metres out.
Definitely on top there, the Bombers, Northern Bombers that is.
McCulloch for goal. Umpire doesn't move. That's the second on the board for North Launceston. 2 goals, 2-14 to 1-1-7. Goals to McCulloch and Taki Avent. Divided now to play on. Kicks long. Kicks wide. Looking for a contest there, and it's a mark to Billy Edmonds on the second grab.
Well, so far, out of all those entries, it'd be disappointing for them.
Billy Edmonds, 45 out, 45-degree angle. Umpire likes it. That's a goal to North Launceston. The impressive Billy Edmonds has kicked their third, 3-4-22. Lead Lauderdale 1-1-7. And I'll tell you what, young Billy Edmonds.
Oh, big sauce, puts the mitts up, can't find it. Coming in second, there was McCulloch. Good hands, Tepper. Oh, he follows up as the coach in Whitford. That's got beauty. Wow. 10 seconds ago, he was here on centre wing. He actually kicked the ball inside 50. And just like it was a training drill, he followed the ball up. As you tell all young clean, as we expect. Bennett, oh, he shrugs the tackle easily. Over the top, here's the North Launceston juggernaut. They're starting to run. Tepper finds deliberate approach. Right on. Oh, he plays on to Big Bart. He runs on the left. Oh, comedy. Here's Siggins. He...
quarter time, and the score here. So the North Launceston had a bit of a breeze in that first quarter. 4-5-29, leading Lauderdale 1-1-7. And also we look at the goal kickers there, the major goal kickers at quarter time. Mackie, just want to go over them one more time there?
Yeah, singles to Lauderdale was Raglioni, which was a nice pass inside 50 from Nick Baker. He kicked the one. Taylor Whitford, Jordan Tepper, Bart McCulloch and Will Edmonds one apiece.
And we've got some of the team stats here, thanks to our stats man, David Gruber. The hit-outs, Lauderdale, Hayden Smith doing quite well in that department. He's leading the hit-outs 16-8 at this stage. Clearance, though, at North Launceston's way 10-8. Inside 15s, 17-2. And marks inside 53 to North Launceston, none yet to Lauderdale. And the free kicks, 8 to Lauderdale, 3 to North Launceston. So that's the quarter-time stats here. Macca, have you seen the midfield battle so far?
Well, North Launceston just cleaner with the footy, like people like Ponting. Cox Good, you haven't seen a lot of. He had that last kick inside 50, which was pretty strong. Look, pretty even at the moment, I think, Max. The midfield battle, Walsh and Franklin are getting plenty of it, but they don't damage you, do they, with the ball? They're short kickers. They're not that long kick like a Cox Goodger is. Ponting was into it. They're obviously trying to tag Ponting, but he sort of started to sit across half back and just repelled a lot of the attacks. Tepper was probably the better midfielder when going sort of midfield forward, wasn't he? And obviously Taylor Whitford was pretty influential as well.
Yeah, well, they probably weren't expecting Taylor Whitford to go into the middle a great deal based on what he's done throughout the year, but so a good bit of manoeuvring there by himself. But Tepper, for me, has certainly been the standout mid for the first quarter.
Any game like this, two boys, we get a better read at half-time, don't we, once we've seen both teams have the advantage of what we think is a bit of a breeze going towards that town end.
Well, look, it'll be interesting to see what North Launceston do. They've got those hide up forward, maybe a Donnelly now, Max, might just play that defensive winger role, play with that bit of height and just add an extra, a bit like Siggins tried to do, Foz. The problem is with Siggins, he's an on-baller. So if he's just sitting down behind the play, that means they're one short at the stoppages, aren't they? So, maybe a Donnelly or something goes back, or maybe they just back their midfield in to continue to back those inside 50s, which, as Fozzie just said there before, was 17-2.
We speculated about the structure of North Launceston forward line pre-game with a few tools up there. How have you seen that working?
Well, I think McCulloch enjoys it because he sort of goes there and he's not the only focal target. They're just, look, on a good day, and they're just going to be so hard for any team, whether it's Launceston or Lauderdale, to match up on, throughout the rest of the final series.
We better go down to our boundary rider, Chris Sayer, who's out on the ground. G'day, Chris.
Yeah, g'day. Yeah, I just listened into Darren Winter's address. One thing he wrote on his whiteboard was play footy. Yeah. And he spent a lot of time shuffling the magnets around too, so they might see a few changes in the ground. What Darren Winter's like, talks very calmly, so they're going to really want to make use of this second quarter of the wind. I noticed on their stats board that the inside 50s were 2 to 16. How does that match Dave
Yeah,
Gruber's?
he's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say too, the condition of this ground is amazing, considering there was a big game here yesterday with Lilydale beating St Pat's in the grand final. There were over 2,000 people here yesterday.
Fantastic.
So, this ground is in really good nick compared to that. And Lauderdale's just got the hurry on from the umpires. So, so they're just breaking up now.
Better let you get off too, Chris. Thanks for that. We'll
Okay.
talk to you again a little bit later.
Will do.
I must mention the TSLW score. It was Launceston through to the grand final, 5-15-45. Defeated Glenorchy 4-5-29. And earlier in the under-18s, I think it was the preliminary final, Launceston 9-13-67 defeated the Tigers 6-38.
Yeah, correct. They'll be off down south next week to play Clarence.
Yep.
Yeah, in the under-18 STJFL grand final.
The big thing here, Foz, I think, for Lauderdale is they've got to try and control the ball. If they just try and blaze out of the middle and think we've got to get it deep, they've got to work their way through this very, very good North Launceston defence.
So already I can see that Siggins has gone to centre half forward. So they're already, playing a little bit more attacking footy. He's manned up on Richter Solder there, who's giving away about half a foot. So if they can get the ball in, they've got Siggins, they've got McGuinness down there as well, and also Gilby. So they've got enough firepower if they can, as you said, control the footy and hit some targets. Whereas North Launceston, we continue to have a look here. Things look pretty standard. I can't see too much as the second quarter is going to be underway. Lee and Smith do battles again. Here's Ponting. Franklin right in behind him as he always is. He's up to Bennett.
As Macca's got a cough, I'll take over. There's a heavey, I think it's tackled to the ground.
Oh, sorry, Foz.
You're right.
Turn off the mic.
In fact, it was Bell Chambers who got tackled to the ground there for the Southern Bombers. Off we go again.
I'm back. Smith taps it to his ruckman who was on the ground in Lee. Whitford just inside 50. Young McGuinness goes up, comes down. Here's Ponting doing a lot of work across that half forward line now. Finds Cox Goodger, slips, gives it back to Whitford. Looks up for McCulloch, protects the space in behind him. Off the ground, Bannister goes as far as Egger. It's close to the line. It's going to be a soccer kick. And it's a Lauderdale own goal, and it goes through for a point. So Lauderdale under pressure early on. Here's Hill. Interesting that when Launceston played up here, Hill was actually out of the side, Foz, and was playing in the D League.
I like Alex Hill. I think he should always be in the team. He's a good
size,
player.
good defender. They could have done with him that day on Thorpe.
He kicks outside defensive 50. Spills to the back of the contest. So it's a North Launceston with handball from Richter Solder. Gets to Ponting. Inside 50 with a short kick to Egger. Presents, takes it lace out. Nice kick into the breeze there from Ponting. Now this will really test him, I'd say. Yeah. The man on the mark's about 35-40 out.
We're only a minute and a half in, Foz, but already we see North Launceston be able to control the ball and have three inside 50s in a minute and a half.
Oh, he thinks about the handball now. He's invited to play on as Egger. So he kicked towards the goal square. Flyers wanted, there's plenty there. Bannister, also McCulloch. Bannister's got it. Handball to Whitford, who launches for goal, and he's off to the right-hand side for a behind. So a couple of behinds early days for North Launceston, 4-7-31 to 1-1-7.
He just continues to get in the right spots, Taylor Whitford, Max, doesn't he? So many times they can give the handball to him, he just keeps kicking it in, then he follows up and he's there again.
Covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
He looks really fit at the moment as well, is Taylor Whitford. So here's Alex Hill. I mentioned Alex Hill before. He kicked, I think, 6 or 7 up here one day for Lauderdale a couple of seasons back. So good up forward as well. Long kick, beautiful kick by Alex Hill. Clears everybody. Falls to Richter Solder, who's mopping up down the back there. He kicks low inside 50 towards McCulloch, who gets to the ball, tries to release Davies. He can't. Now it's back towards Ponting, who's tackled and slung over the boundary line.
Max, there's the structure though. Like Alex Hill kicks the ball 80 metres. Lauderdale get caught under the footy. Richter Solder holds his spot, and all of a sudden the structure is North Launceston. It's a tick again for the Northern Bombers.
Lee slings inside 50. It's going to fall in a dangerous spot. Bannister over the back. Can he pick it up and kick a goal? He gets his toe to it and puts it through. Off the ground from Dakota Bannister. That's his first. 5 individual goal kickers now to the Northern Bombers. 5-7-37. Plays 1-1-7.
Yeah, just getting back to that, Mackie, you're right.
Yeah.
Like Richter Solder just sat back. Everyone, it's just modern footy. They push up with a kick out, and none of them, apart from Richter Solder, then read that this is going to be a 60-metre kick out of the back line. Hill steadied, hoed the boot into it, cleared the pack into Richter's Richter Salter's hands. First person who I've seen today who's actually really drilled it into the breeze, kept it low and gained 30 to 40 metres instead of seeing that looping ball into a contest.
It's North Launceston by 5 goals. Here's Matthew McGee for City Park Radio and the TSL live stream.
Umpire bounces the ball. Wynn takes it towards the city end. Good tap down there from Lee. Here's Ponting. Oh, geez, I love Ponting. He's just so good, isn't he, Max? Could have been held there was Mansell. Ponting he's got someone right on his tail. He's just so clean. The medalist from last year. What do they call that medal now, Fozzie? The big one that you went to and we don't get invited to? The Lynch medal?
On.
The Lynch medal, is that the one?
I'll try and get your ticket this year.
Oh, no, I'm not about me. It's about you. Fair enough, too. And it's going to be a ball up here on centre wing. We'll have to have a look at that team of the year later, too, Foz, because he had a little bit of input in that.
Tiny bit.
Tiny bit. Okay, that's why it wasn't a bad team this year. I thought we did a good job. Ponting, inside 50. Tepper and Walsh are going at it behind the play. I think it's going to be a down-the-field free kick. And the youngster in Jackson Callow is going to take the resultant free kick 40 metres out. Jordan Tepper just loves it, doesn't he? He's that little pesty player that just gets in and under the skin of the opposition. He's playing good footy. Jackson Callow into the breeze. Trupp's going to stand the mark, probably 40 out. Callow to kick from 45, close to 50. The Tassie Devils leading goal kicker starts it out to the right. It's close, but it misses right side. And it's a behind to North Launceston. And already inside 50s, even with this breeze, 4-0. 4-0. So that's North Launceston's way.
So McGuinness of the Matthew variety cruises out of the goal square, keeps it low. It's a beautiful kick by McGuinness, and he finds a teammate over there, and looks like Reece Sutton, is it over there?
Yeah. You're 5 goals down, Sutton. Max. You've got to go. Look here, down the centre corridor.
Reece Sutton goes long, up here towards Nick Baker, clears him, off hands. The front's McManus, taken by Richter Salter, bulldozes his way through. He's caught with the ball. Great tackle there by Karen Ewer. Exciting player. Now there's a chance for an attacking thrust. He goes sideways to Oscar Shaw. He fumbles a little. Spills now to McManus, who's tackled. 3-way tackle there. And
you've put Siggins down forward. You could kick the ball 50 metres, yet you go sideways with a 10-metre kick. It was going to be play on anyway, and you turn the ball over, and all of a sudden North Launceston are now going to have a clearance inside the centre square. Just doesn't make sense, Max.
Out it comes now.
No, Macca. That's right.
Didn't want to interrupt you, Macca.
Oh, no, keep going. The ball's not going anywhere.
Tepper gets it back to Foon. Foon, handball smothered. Good work there from Lauderdale. And so we get a free kick. It's going to go the Southern Bombers' way.
Right, now they've got to go.
Nick Baker.
Have to go the Lauderdale Bombers.
And here he goes now, the long kick up towards half forward. Oh, beautiful fly there from, that was Bill Chambers, couldn't quite complete the mark. Simpson gets it backwards towards Jack Event. Out now towards Liam Davies. Davies' little kick is wide, but it's not too wide because it's taken on the chest there by Jordan Tepper. As Macca said earlier, he's really adjusted to the pace now of TSL footy. He's stringing some good games together. He kicks towards half forward. Edmonds front position, McGuinness behind, but Edmonds takes the mark. Taking a couple of strong marks already today. So Billy Edmonds, fair way out from goal against this breeze. Kicks inside 50. Wadley almost takes the mark. Lauderdale player there, set upon. So it'll be a ball up. Right on attacking 50 for North Launceston. It's the Bombers, Northern Bombers 38, the Southern Bombers 7.
I think the kick was there, Macca, that you was referring to, that inside kick, but it just wasn't well executed along the ground.
Yeah, you got a 4 or 5 goal win. You just got to go. Just go and take some risks.
Kick it once.
Yep. Walsh decides not to kick, gives the handball to McManus off half back. Gilby, virtually unsighted. Van Buren just too good at the moment. Goes to hands by Mansell. Uses his speed. Here's Bennett up the line, multiple options. Callow goes to knees. Could have kept his feet. Walsh back to Trupp. Hands. Oh, turnover. McManus gives it straight to Whitford. Back to Callow. Another inside 50, the Northern Bombers. Here's Edmonds. Sets himself to Big Billy. Ball comes down the front. Here's Egger. He's up and down like a jack in the box. Bannister on the kick. Oh, I reckon that's behind the post umpire. It is. Through for a behind. Well, mistake after mistake. And, you know, just from someone like McManus, it's they're just not playing with confidence at the moment. They got over the line last week against Glenorchy. We said that form line probably doesn't stand up a real lot, and today they're just showing not a real lot at the moment. They've got to get some goals on the board with North Launceston to come out after half-time with the breeze. McGuinness goes towards the Launceston Club Room's side of the ground. Here's Karanaya. He's pushed in the back as Karanaya, and he's going to take the free kick on half-back.
Let's just see where he goes. No, it's back to McGuinness.
That Franklin. Yep. Franklin in front of the Lonnie Club Rooms over there. He goes wide. Nice long kick on this occasion. At the fall is Walsh. It's taken away from the contest. Sideways handball. Ball Callow to Simpson. Now to Cox Goodger. Can he get clear? Touches the ball on the ground. 55 out. Kicks it into the breeze. It fades away. Oscar Shaw will be first there. He does a good job to see it over the boundary line. So a boundary throw in. So 5-9-39. 1-1-7. 10 minutes in. And inside 50s. In fact, Lauderdale yet to have an inside 50 with the breeze this quarter. It's 6-0. Clearance is 6-1 North Launceston's way. Front position was Bart McCulloch. Now taken by Burge. Little handball only as far as Rushton. He can't pick it up. Back to Ponting. Kick smothered. Second opportunity, Ponting. Gets it sideways to Tepper on that left foot. Little short pass to McCulloch, who leads up and takes it. Too far out, so he plays on. Sells himself into trouble. Handballs backwards. That's Rushton inside 50. Front position, Callow. Can't take the mark. On his hands and knees. North Launceston player tries to break through. That might have been Sharon Egger. He won't be penalised. So it'll be a ball up. Near the goal square. Northern Bombers in attack. Starting to cool down here. Cloud cover now. Callow for goal. He misses it to the left. An opportunist snap there on the right. So that's 5-10-40 now, North Launceston. 1-1-7. 33 points the margin.
I didn't know we were in the sun, Foz.
Yeah, no, we're not.
I don't think if the I think we have one temperature at Windsor Park, Foz. It's cold and then colder.
I know Gilly and the boys were freezing yesterday at KG5.
KG5, you were snuggled up. You and Groobs. You even had a coffee machine and sinks. And
that's right.
Hey, Max, unbelievable down at KG5, the boys.
In the President's box.
They were gloating at how good their facilities were yesterday, and what an impressive win it was from the Launceston Blues. We'll hear about all that at half-time with Darren Geard. He'll join us as the umpire throws it in. Lee, beautiful palm down to Cox Goodger. Here's Saunders, goes by hand after he decided to, he thought he might have kicked it. McManus, taken again after he kicks it. Karanaya, down the front, Sutton. They need a goal here to the Southern Bombers. It's an up and under kick. McGuinness runs onto it. Van Buren first back. Here's McGuinness. That's Ben McGuinness. They just really need one here. Heavey puts his head under it. Sutton. Nice kick. Here's Siggins. Flies. Just the bare 15. In fact, it wasn't. Umpire says play on. And it's going to be repelled again by North Launceston through Tepper. Hands up. Here's Cox Goodger. Fumbles, but clever enough to tap it on. Source Donnelly. Beset upon. Franklin. Top of the 50. They need a mark. Could be Burge. Saunders. Just can't get the kick. It's going to go over the top. He's touched the ball, though, and that's a behind. So not much going right for the Darren Winter Southern Bombers here, Lauderdale. And they move along 1-2-8. Lauderdale trail North Launceston 5-10-40. 12 minutes gone, second quarter.
Braden Van Buren, beautifully weighted kick to Fletcher Bennett. He's had a real breakout season. The TSL, his handball's not great here to Ponting, puts him under pressure. Back to Alex Lee. Lee leans back in a kick here towards Edmonds' front position. Palms it down here towards Whitford. He's got an option over the top here in Egger. Oh, the bounce evades him. Matt McGuinness does well. Egger's second effort. Picks up, bit of pace, bit of dash. He has sideways handball to Edmonds, who runs into trouble. Gets a kick away somehow towards Donnelly. Great work by Trupp for Lauderdale. Russians handball back to Trupp. They've got a chance to clear now through Gilby. He's up the ground. Gets a handle on it to Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers kicks long, direct as Macca wants. And the mark's taken there at half forward for the Bombers. Is that Ray Hill? Little short kick into the middle of the ground. Mark's taken by Nick Baker. Baker sideways to Saunders.
They're having to do this, Max, because North Launceston just set up so well behind the footy.
Yep, there is just no empty space for anybody to lead into.
So Saunders, little spot up kick, finds Bryce Walsh. It's Raglione who took the ball before, beg your pardon. There's now Bryce Walsh has got the ball. Sideways to Baker. Sideways again to Bell Chambers. Doesn't quite hit the target with the handball. He's got time to recover. 48 outfield. Bell Chambers for goal.
No.
It's off to the right.
But it's those handballs too, Max. There's been so many today just at people's bootlaces. There's one here to Hayden Smith before. There's another one. It's simple skills, but what it's doing is it's putting the pressure on the receiver. You know, Bell Chambers there shouldn't have had to worry about picking the ball up. Should have been on his chest. Van Buren kicks the ball out. It's a forward sideways spinning punt, but it's quite a good mark there as a result from that, and that goes to Ponting. He goes short. They look clean here, North Launceston. It's the reason they're 5 goals up. Here's Lee. That one's out of bounds, as I call it. Always happens.
Yep.
So Baker is going to take the free kick in front of the Lauderdale interchange box. They just need one, and then one might bring 2. And this one's up the chimney. It's going long and deep. Foon tries to take a flyer. Can't do so. Tucked away in the pocket is Heavey. This needs to go and find a player. It's play on advantage. In fact, it was touched off the boot. Whitford looks to switch. He's hit behind the play. And it's going to be a resultant free kick down the field to Davies. Moves it quick to Callow, the big mitts of the youngster. Puts him out in front. He's got Richter Solder. He's a little bit filthy that Dave Moore didn't pick him in the team of the year. Richter Solder. Oh, maybe that's why, Dave Moore. Maybe that's why. And it's going to be deliberate. I don't know how it's deliberate. He was tackled, but anyway, it's a free kick to Saunders. Saunders has nowhere to go because look, 4 blokes down the line. No one from Lauderdale wants to move, Max. They're going to go to the other side of the ground and try it there. Hill, slow play. Why wouldn't you go slow when you've got a 4-goal breeze? All goes over the top. Can't find the inclusion there in Jeremiah Perkins. He gives it back and gets it back himself to Perkins. Bell Chambers, good mark. Big Phil Bell Chambers, good strong mark at half forward. Here he goes, Bell Chambers. Good speed. Got to hit the target and does. McGuinness. Yep, the youngster in McGuinness, I think.
Ben McGuinness.
Ben McGuinness takes the mark on the lead. No, it's not even him.
It might be Raglione, is it?
Raglione again.
Third time.
No, it is
It's
McGuinness.
Ben McGuinness, yep.
I was right to start with. He's cut his hair a little bit.
Yep.
Benny McGuinness. So Ben McGuinness is going to have a shot from goal. And it's going to be a shot from goal from about 50 metres with a breeze behind him. Start at right goalpost, bring it back.
A much needed goal, Macca, would be an understatement.
McGuinness going to wind up. Does so now. Starts it right left and stays left, Max.
But look how deep Lauderdale is setting up. They got set up back here in the middle. The ball's going to drop short 20 metres. They need to push that zone forward.
Braden Van Buren will kick out from fullback, out of the goal square. Oh, it's a funny old kick. It might work out all right as Liam Davies dives to take a mark. 2 North West Coast boys there combined. He's just giving the settle down signal there in the right back pocket. Kicks towards the wing. Falls short. Lee up against Alex Hill. It's a little handball out of the contest. Now it's with Sutton. Back to Ray Hill, the late inclusion. He's tackled. It's out of bounds.
Get the clearances for me, please, for Dave Gruber.
Clearances 7-3 this quarter, Macca. The inside 50s are starting to even up a bit.
Yes.
North Launceston 8-5.
I thought the last 4 minutes they've probably been a little bit better, Lauderdale.
Yep.
Just haven't been able to put anything on the board. They trail North Launceston 5-10-40, Lauderdale 1-4-10.
Boundary throw in. Lee against Smith. Smith does well to get a hand in there. Brycey Walsh has got it. Tackled high by Tepper. And Whitford needs to be careful there. So Whitford, Bryce Walsh.
Just sending a little message to the North Lonnie coach. Just a little drive-by.
He goes sideways to Matt McGuinness. Takes the mark.
Ponting was there, wasn't he?
He was hovering. So what can they set up here? A lot of players ahead of the ball. So that long left foot kick of his we've seen this season by Matt McGuinness. Front position there, Siggins. Taken by Bell Chambers this way, that away. Kicks towards the goal square, nice long kick. Almost a mark there to Ben McGuinness. Gilby's there. Van Buren, handballs over to Davies. They might work it out here, the Bombers. He's going to go wide for sure, and he does. Close to the line, too close. Out of bounds on the full. Max.
Yes, Max.
Just on that, why wouldn't have Bryce Walsh kicked it into the top of the square when he's 60 metres out, kicking with this breeze? Just create a bit of uncertainty. amongst the
McManus
North
does so. He
Launceston.
kicks it to the top of the square, Max. That's what you asked for.
That's what
and
I
it puts
asked
them
for.
under pressure. Here's Saunders off the deck. Alex Saunders! Max Walker's a marvel. It's not that hard, Maxwell. You kick it to the top of the square and all of a sudden, Lauderdale get their second goal. Lauderdale 2-4-16, trail North Launceston 5-10-40.
We've been impressed with Saunders this year, haven't we, Macri? He's just added that bit of excitement to the North Lonnie forward line.
That's his 20th goal, leading goal kicker Lauderdale. But Max, it's what you're calling for.
Exactly, and it got the result, Macca. We should be coaching.
Well, we don't need to coach. We're here just giving our expert opinion, Maxwell.
How did the Lightning go this weekend? by the way?
I've got to mention the Lightning.
You do?
Last week was our grand final.
Oh.
We won, top of the ladder, won the league. So well done to all the Lightning boys. I know our listeners love following the Lightning fortune.
Well, I did
And,
see it
we
all
got the league.
I did see it all over
we
social media.
We broke the internet, all our parents. So well done to Launceston Lightning under 12s.
Got a great bounce there from the umpires. It'll come back against us. 2-4-16 Lauderdale, North Launceston 5-10-40. Goal to Alex Saunders. So we've still got probably another 10 minutes maximum of this quarter. So there's plenty of opportunities here for Lauderdale. As Macca said, they're starting to work their way back into the game.
Yeah.
As Hayden Smith against Lee. Lee with a follow-up thump towards half forward. Whitford in a bit of a tangle there with Wish Wilson. Whitford on the follow-up. Little kick forward. Here's Ponting presenting, but Tepper will get there first. His little low kick's not bad here towards Callow. Doesn't quite take the mark. He had front position. McCulloch lays the tackle. There'll be a ball up about 20 metres out from North Launceston's goal.
Well, probably won't pick it up, Max, but interesting there on that centre ball up. Lauderdale don't have anyone behind their own ruckman. Like, there's no one there holding. We know that North Launceston love to get the ball and go with that 6-6-6 rule. I'd just like to see maybe someone just hold their ground behind Hayden Smith, because it just opens up that territory for Whitford and Cox Goodyear to run into. They just need a bit of a backstop there, I think.
They do, Macca. They do. Good
We'll
pick-up.
have a look at the next one. Next one that goes back to the centre. Just see what they're doing. They're playing man on man, but sometimes you just got to sit one back there, sort of that old cinnamon roll in behind your own ruckman.
McCulloch rises high over Smith, who wants a free kick. Umpire's not having any of it. Now it's taken by Perkins. Handball towards Franklin. Here they go directly. The excitement machine is Karanoya. He's up against Jackie Aven, who does really well to get it to Van Buren, who gets it now towards Davies. Those two have teamed really well today. Davies, he gets caught by Sutton. Great tackle. Jeez, he closed down the distance between himself and Davies real quick there, did Sutton. He got the rewarding tackle. Little kick, nicely weighted to Walsh. Walsh and Van Buren, they're both hurt.
He's done the shoulder and he's knocked out his opponent in Walsh.
Yeah, idea. So they're both going for the ball. So we'll get up the replay here, have a bit of a look. And Van Buren, I don't know if it's a shoulder or an arm, Macca.
I think it was a fair contest. It was always going to be close. And that was a great tackle there from Sutton. Van Buren's hurt, and Walsh is a tough nut, and he's copped some bad injuries over the Dimes, Bryce Walsh. It's definitely a free kick. Van Buren's hurt his left shoulder. He's going to go off. That could be a real telltale for the Team of the Year defender.
He's in a lot of pain there.
Yeah, it could be even a broken arm or something. He went really hard.
We'll get Chris Sayer onto that if he makes his way towards the north bench. Just have a bit of a look. But yeah, straight away he went down in pain there. So
is it 50 metres? Because the mark was taken and then he got hit. Did he take the mark or not?
No,
didn't take the mark?
Didn't take the mark.
Okay.
He was in the contest. He's paid high.
Yeah, I just thought if he took the mark and then it was high, well, it's obviously 50.
Very close. I mean, the players almost got there simultaneously. But Bryce Walsh, as you said, he's fearless player, tough player.
Yeah, I think Van Buren definitely had his eye on the ball. So leave that one up to the MRP. But Siggins is going to take the free kick. He's going to take the free kick with a breeze at his back. He's probably 60 out. It's going to be tough. They lead early to Lauderdale. He's going to have a shot. Siggins starts it well. It's got to get on the breeze. It continues to go. Siggins right to the top of the square. Touched off hands as Burge tried to kick it out of mid-air. And, geez, I'll tell you what, it was going to go, wasn't it, on that breeze? Like a little Dave Moore one would off the first tee. Just gets on the breeze and continues to go.
Out from full back now. Siggins rises high. Great mark.
Here's take two.
He's got the ride. He's almost the same distance out. He's going to go again to the same spot. Falls a bit shorter this time. There's a lot of players flying the goal square. Gilby, the bottom of the contest. They try to work it out. And the absence of Van Buren, Mac, how will that affect the matchups down there?
Well, Donnelly's the one, isn't he? So let's look for Donnelly to go back now. I think that would be one that you'd probably go, and that's the insurance of having a Donnelly in your side.
Deep in attack for Lauderdale. Tepper emerges. He got a high tackle there from Saunders. And he'll take a relieving free kick.
Just got to stick those forward tackles, don't they? Because just got to hold it in now. They just started to get a lot of momentum in the last 5 or so minutes. We mentioned it even before that. And we'll keep an eye on Bryce Walsh there. He went off the ground, didn't he? So wasn't carried off. He might just be a little bit light-headed, you'd imagine. Ball comes out beyond 50. Whitford by hand. Scrubby kick. Doesn't go far. Goes again, Whitford. Looks for the high tackle. Sutton got him. And it's going to be a ball up just inside Lauderdale's 50. About 2 metres in from the boundary line. City end of the ground. North Launceston 5-10-40. Lead Lauderdale 2-5-17.
Macca, I've got the glasses on Braden Van Buren. It's definitely a left forearm injury.
Yeah. Geez, if he's hit head, like that could just be snapping your forearm bone there, your radius or your ulnar. Could be an issue. Whitford on the ground. The youngster there in Mansell, young Ryan, he's beset upon. It's going to be a ball up right here in front of the commentary position. Umpire McEntee going to ball the ball up.
Yep, umpire Tom McEntee, young umpire in the league, so a handy cricketer in his day. As Siggins now gets the tap out, a holding free kick, and it's against Saunders. It's going to Cox Goodger. Oh, handball's in close quarters there to Whitford. It's a 1-2 back to Whitford now from Cox Goodger. He gets around out of Siggins' tackle, keeps it low, at half forward. Well done, good chop out by Matt McGuinness. He's off to the races now. Kicks towards Karanewa. Well done, Event with a spoil from behind. Sutton, handball to Burge. Burge thinks about it and then goes low towards full forward. Taken by Gilby. Oh, did he have that? The umpire said no, he didn't. So
bit of fast footy into the forward line.
Yeah, but I even thought it should have been faster. That McGuinness kick had to go longer and deeper. It was one-on-one. North Launceston didn't have one behind the footy, and it could have been Gilby one-on-one with his opponent rather than that extra kick.
They're not prepared to take a risk. This is what we've been asked to do. This is what we've got to do. Where you see it open up behind the pack, like you said then, Macca, and they're just not...
You've got to make the North Launceston defenders defend one-on-one. You can't allow them to set up because we know that they're such a good side behind the ball.
All's well that ends well, though. It's with Jacob Gilby. He skips around to get a bit of extra purchase. Kicks towards goal. That's a beautiful kick, Jacob Gilby. And that clears the line easily, and that's another goal to Lauderdale. That's their third. That's their second for this second quarter, and they just edge closer. 17 points of difference. 5-10-40, 3-5-23.
Yeah, I'd been a little bit disappointed with Gilby up to then. Even out here where that ball was tackled, he didn't really chase much. He was behind a couple of times. But maybe his job gets easier now without Van Buren on the ground. So
he had a good game last week too, Jacob Gilby. So he's in reasonable
trying to pick up who else they've moved back behind the footy there, Foz. So you keep going. I'll get the binoculars up. So Bennett's playing back, as is Connie Young. They've got Foon behind the footy.
Simpson's gone back. He was on the wing.
Yeah, Simpson's gone back. So there's still probably a tall...
Donnelly's gone to the wing.
Down, and Donnelly's moved as that sort of defensive winger role. So
Lee gets the tap out. Cox Goodger dispossessed. Taken by Siggins. Don't argue. Backwards to Burge, who fumbles slightly. They might turn it over now. Here's Ponting. Important contest. Burge, nice little handball to McManus. His handball smothered. It's pretty hot in there. Siggins again. Releasing handball. But it's going to be another clearance or another ball up here. Speaking of clearances, North Lonnie still on top in this quarter, 9-5. Inside 50s are pretty even now, 9 apiece. Macca.
Bryce Walsh is not on the bench, so you'd imagine he's probably gone in for a concussion test or something like that in the TSL. Say they'd have similar protocols to the AFL.
Cox Goodger to Mansell, and he got one a bit higher, or pushing them back perhaps. So Mansell gets up and running straight away, up here towards Callow, front position. Well done by McGuinness. Cox Goodger up against Sutton. Sutton did okay to worry him off it. Taylor Whitford, now to Callow, now to Cox Goodger, he loves these. His goal on the left foot. An important goal into the breeze for the Northern Bombers. To Bradley Cox Goodger, 6-10-46 to 3-5-23. An important goal for the Bombers, boys, as Lauderdale just making a bit of a run at it.
Yeah, it's a struggling one there for Lauderdale. They didn't need that one, Max.
No, they didn't. Like, just when you thought they're 17 points behind, gaining a bit of momentum, they just needed to kick a goal in this last 3 or 4 minutes of the quarter and would have been back to 11 points, but now it stretches back out to 23.
A couple of young Devils involved there, Macca, Ryan Mansell and also Jackson Callow.
Yeah, it was a good initial contest of McGuinness on Callow, and Callow was quickest to recover. So have a look at this.
Okay, got Chris Sayer on the boundary, Macca, very quickly.
Go.
Yeah, Van Buren is done for the day, I'd suggest. It's his elbow, left elbow, before it disappeared into a sling. It looked very dislocated, so I think he's out.
Okay, could be a dislocated elbow, which is nasty. Might be a season-ending injury. We hope not for his sake. He's had a great season as it's out of bounds.
If we can get the word on, Chris, if you're listening, if you get the word on Bryce Walsh as well, if he's any chance to come back, because they need him in that engine room. For Van Buren, that could be season done for Van Buren. Had a terrific first year for North Launceston coming up from the coast. TSL Team of the Year, we mentioned before. Lee up against Siggins. Lee comes down with the footy, and it's going to be a ball up as Kieran Ayers sits on the ball. And big Hayden Smith, is he having a spell, Max? Is he going forward, or is he just having a spell, the big Haydos? He's sitting on the bench. I can see him over there. So Siggins goes into the ruck when that's happening. Good hands here. Tepper down to Mansell. Avent 150. Games from Avent up to Callow. And there's the siren for half time. So Lauderdale made a little run there midway through that quarter, but North Launceston was still able to kick 2 goals, and they lead 6-10-46. Lauderdale 3-5-23. So exactly doubling the score. Goal kickers, Cox Goodger, Whitford, Tepper, Bannister, McCulloch and Edmonds, all singles for North Launceston. And that quarter, it was 2 goals to Lauderdale. Saunders and Gilby kicked them, and Ragley only got 1 in the first.
So a commanding lead, but not unassailable, you wouldn't think, for North Launceston at half-time. 6-10-46 to Lauderdale, 3-5-23. Max, some thoughts before we go for some messages?
Yeah, thanks.
What are you pointing, Maxwell?
Just how impressed I was with the emergency goal umpire then. He covered a lot of ground to get over here with his colleagues.
Yep.
It was quick.
Oh, the things that keep us entertained here at TSL Footy or City Park Radio.
Yes, well, he's got the jumper on, so it must be a bit cool out there. But, no, Foz, look, take away that last goal from Cox Goodger, and strangely enough, you'd say that Lauderdale were back in the game. But one goal makes a lot of difference in football. I'm just commenting here, a lot of the North Launceston players over there to the guy in the sling there, Van Buren. You're right, he's certainly done for the day, and a bit of consoling with him, so I'm not quite sure whether it is season ending or not there, Foz, but he doesn't look in a well way, taking his time to get across to the rooms, and it doesn't look good for him. Possibly have a couple of weeks off between now and the next game, but
Never know.
But who knows? But look, Lauderdale did get back into it just through a couple of goals, which is all they needed, and they got those goals from a bit of fast movement of the footy rather than slowing it down, allowing North Launceston to set up behind the ball, which, like Macca said, they are extremely good at, and the best in the business at it. But a quick goal, bit of hustling there from Jackson Callow for his second or third game for the year. Hasn't played since that wet one at Invermay at York Park.
Yeah, he played at Invermay Park a few weeks ago.
Did he?
It's
Yeah.
North Hobart, yeah.
Yep,
Came off
okay.
injured at half-time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, very interesting half of footy. Be interesting to see what Lauderdale bring to the table in this third quarter against what would be a 2 or 3 goal breeze minimum from what we've seen, and they defended it very well, North Launceston then, so third quarter of footy will be a really tough one for the Lauderdale Footy Club.
Michael Walker for City Park Radio Sport, and also the TSL live stream. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have Darren Geard, assistant coach with the Launceston Football Club.
No is an amazing word. When used the right way, it can be very powerful. That's exactly what Telstra is offering right now. No excess data charges in Australia. No long-term contracts on any new mobile.
Just spot Bannister over the back. Can he pick it up and kick a goal? He gets his toe to it and puts it through. Off the ground from Dakota Bannister. That's his first. 5 individual goal kickers now to the Northern Bombers.
Kicking with this breeze, just create a bit of uncertainty.
McManus does so. He kicks it to the top of the square, Max. That's what you asked for.
That's what
and
I
it puts
asked
them
for.
under pressure. Here's Saunders off the deck. Alex Saunders! Max Walker's a marvel. It's not that hard, Maxwell. You kick it to the top of the square, and all of a sudden,
Burge thinks about it and then goes low towards full forward. Taken by Gilby. Oh, did he have that? The umpire said no, he didn't. So
Bit
the
of
free
fast
kick
footy into the forward line.
yeah,
skips around to get a bit of extra purchase. Kicks towards goal. That's a beautiful kick, Jacob Gilby. And that clears the line easily, and that's another goal to Lauderdale. That's their third. That's their second for this second quarter, and they just edge closer. 17 points the difference. 5-10 front position. Well done by McGuinness. Cox Goodger up against Sutton. Sutton did okay to worry him off it. Taylor Whitford, now to Kello, now to Cox Goodger. He loves these. His goal on the left foot. An important goal in the breeze for the Northern Bombers. To Bradley Cox Goodger. 6-10-46 to 3-5. Welcome back to Windsor Park. It's half time. It's North Launceston 6-10-46 to Lauderdale 3-5-23. And I might just to get down, I don't know if Chris Sayer can hear me. Yes, he's on the ground. He's got an update on Bryce Walsh. G'day, Chris.
Yes, I had a quick look in the change rooms. Of course, Darren Winter took his team behind closed doors, but Bryce Walsh had a lacerated earlobe. So he was getting taped up, but he looks pretty fit, so I reckon he'll play on.
Okay, so yeah, Bryce Walsh being a pretty tough nut. I think he'll definitely do that. It's great to be joined at half-time in the commentary position here on the balcony with Darren Geard, who's the assistant coach of the Launceston Footy Club. G'day, Darren.
G'day, Dave.
Great win yesterday, mate.
Look, very good win, yeah.
Yep.
Especially, we sort of had three really good victories down there this year, so which is unusual because we usually haven't had a great deal of success down there.
Before we get back to that game yesterday, what are your thoughts on the game here at half-time?
Look, I think probably Lauderdale would rue that quarter. Probably the breeze seemed to pick up and probably didn't sort of take the opportunity to put the score on the board. Probably a little bit indirect, but you never know what happens in footy in a second half here now. But, I think the win's going to play a considerable factor, I would think.
And tactically, how have you seen the game pan out?
Very open. Yeah. Very open. Yeah. I thought we'd probably be in for a real sort of contested battle, but it's probably been the opposite. It's been a very open sort of standard of football.
Let's get back to yesterday. So, of course, you probably went down almost slight favourites against Glenorchy, just based on your previous games there this year. Yeah. But it's probably, I've seen you play a lot this year. It's probably your best performance for the year. Would you agree with that?
Look, I think so. Yeah, for sure. And it's nice to happen in a final. Yeah. Yeah, look, I think probably from a four-quarter effort, I think it was probably our best performance for the year.
Talking to people pre-season, there was a bit of pessimism about the Blues. All talk about losing players and all that sort of stuff. Now looking back, what's been you probably didn't have the same pessimistic view, but what's been the secret to the success of Lonnie this year, do you think?
Look, I think we knew that our core top-end talent was quite good. It was probably just going to see from a development point of view with a lot of the younger players. So, we've had that core group that have been quite successful through the development league, and now the opportunity to sort of string together probably 20 or 30, 20 games of footy. We've probably seen the development in that bottom, the bottom age group of our list.
And talking about those players, some of them played Mercury Cup last year, of course. Yep. I think of players like Jacob Boyd and Jack Tuttle, and they've really become good, fine senior footballers, haven't they?
They have. Even Grant Holt as well. A lot of these younger players that are sort of probably starved of opportunities. Like Jack and Grant have debuted this year. Jacob played I think a handful of games in the past. So an opportunity for them to come in and just really play, solid footy over the course of the year. It's been great for their development and great for the team as well.
And look, the midfield yesterday, I mean, just some of the stats that I saw there, just, let's name the names, Seymour, Bristow, Jay Blackberry was in there a lot. Joby Harper, of course. Just magnificent.
And look, to be totally honest, you rely on the big fella in Hamish as well to get his hand on it. And look, he gave us a lot of first use of the footy out of there. And with that, Fletcher and Joby and Tim were able to capitalise.
And Glenorchy, of course, always a tough opponent down there, but they're probably going through, after yesterday, maybe a bit of regeneration, do you think?
They've had a hard year. Yeah. Look, injury-wise, you look at them week in, week out, the changes that they were making. So, they certainly achieved a really good result for the year, but I think I read this morning where they played 44 players for the season, which is a huge number. Paul Kennedy reappointed. Yeah, look, good for them. And great appointment. And look, a great appointment for the TSL as well. Yep. Like he's a very positive coach and speaks very well. So yeah, for sure.
Max.
Thanks, Foz. Geardy, you've been watching this game, and if it keeps continuing the way it is at the moment, I suspect that the Blues will be fronting up against Lauderdale next week.
Yes.
What do you have to do to beat them?
play like we played the game up here. I think I wasn't here for that game, so that's probably
It was well coached that day,
well
wasn't
coached,
it?
obviously.
Very well coached that day.
So look, I think we just stick to what we've actually been playing really well. You know, our competitive football. You know, I think the thing that came out of yesterday, when you look at the result, is that Mitch didn't kick a goal, Alex Wright kicked one goal, so we're not sort of having a reliance on a key forward who has to kick a bag for us. Admittedly, Dylan got 6 yesterday, but you know, all of a sudden we don't have a reliance on just one party to actually kick a score. So I think if we win the footy in the middle, we're a hard side to beat.
Yep, and he's been a big find for you up forward this year, Alec Wright.
For sure.
We watched him last year quite a bit, and predominantly played back last year, or a lot of it.
A fair bit of back, yeah. He probably sees himself as a forward more than a back.
We all used to do that.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but look, he's another one. Look, a young kid who played D-League last year, copped a few injuries early, had been part of the Devils program in the past. So, look, he's an exceptional talent.
And as a club, most of these young guys have committed again for next year and beyond.
Yep, I think we've pretty much got the whole list is now committed. So
that's good,
which is good. So, and then if we can, I suppose if we can keep playing football that we're playing, then all of a sudden we may become an attractive option for a young kid who wants to come and try himself at TSL level as well.
Darren, I'll have to ask you about a few of the injury concerns.
Yep.
First of all, Jack Donnellan, do you think he'll get up for next week?
He's fine. He'll be fine for next week, yep.
No worries. Of course, Toby Lucas, that was a really gutsy performance. The guys on the stream yesterday were commenting on the way he backed into that contest.
Yep. Yeah, look, I think certainly Mitch highlighted that after the game to our group. You know, the young fella coming in, put his body on the line. Toby's had some concussion issues a few years ago, so look, we'll be very conservative with Toby. Yep. So I think he'd be unlikely next week.
And the other two there, James Gillow and also Jack Tuttle.
Both fine, I think. Yep. So I've spoke to both players this morning, and they said they pulled up okay, just a bit of general soreness sort of thing. So I think we'll be right with them as well.
That's been a hallmark of your performance this year. A very settled side. You haven't made a lot of changes week to week.
Yeah. And
do you think that's made a difference?
I think it has. You know, I suppose it comes to a selection night. We can usually sit down and we know our core group. But in saying that, we've got some exceptional talent, young talent in the development league that are sort of as part of the training squad for our finals campaign. So, but yeah, look, it's been a fairly settled squad for most of the year.
Looking forward to next week, and if you can make to a grand final, would that be an amazing dream when you think about the start of the season, what your goals might have been? And Mitch kept kept a lid on it through the season, but if you could get through to a grand final, that'd be just fantastic for the club, wouldn't it?
It would be. I think at the start of the year, as you said, there was the expectations externally were probably that we'd lost a lot and probably wouldn't go that well. Internally, I think we wanted to be a competitive side. So, I think at the moment, see the football cliche, 1 week at a time. We just need to do what we need to do, and results take care of themselves.
Big picture question, Darren. Looking to 2021, where maybe we've got a VFL team in.
Yep.
How can you see that working with the TSL and players moving in and out of that sort of situation?
Look, I would certainly be a big advocate for still having a high-level program such as a TSL program under that. I think having been involved with footy for a number of years, and when we had the Devils previously, and players were going back to clubs that were playing in NTFL or the STFL, I think that the talent pool just gets diluted a bit. So I would certainly be a big advocate for maintaining some sort of an upper level competition to support that.
Jared Dakin yesterday didn't get a whole heap of possessions, but when he got a possession, he showed a lot of class, didn't he?
Yeah, and look, same sort of thing with Jared. Like we've obviously managing game time for him because he's come back from a shoulder reconstruction early this year. So, but look, a lot of class around when he gets the footy, and as much as we've got the big bulls on the inside playing in the mid, Jared's one that could potentially play mid if we needed to as well. And
the appointment of Mitch this year, what has he brought to the club, do you think?
Just totally positive, really. I hadn't really had a great deal to do with Mitch, but I think from the minute that he was appointed, I had an opportunity to meet with him, talk about his coaching philosophy, and it's just been with the whole group, and having such a young group is just being positive and around enjoying our footy.
Absolutely, and Well, mate, all the best next week. Whether it's, we've still got a game on here, so whether it's back here next weekend or down at Launceston Arena, I'm sure you're looking forward to either.
Look, as I say, a win yesterday is good. It's an opportunity for us to go 1 week further.
Just finally, before we do finish up, so what sort of week on the track? I mean, it's a long finals campaign, just a light
stock
week?
standard, yeah. Yep. Look, we just do our normal training this week, sort of thing. So, basically, won't change too much.
Yep, no worries. Well, thanks for joining us here on the live stream in City Park Radio, Darren, and all the best for next week.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
That's Darren Geard joining us here on the City Park Radio coverage, 103.7, 96.5, and also on the live stream. We'll take a short break and back in just a moment. For North Launceston. Chris, we'll hear from you again at 3/4 time.
Okay.
That's Chris Sayer for City Park Radio there on the boundary. And just go through some of the team stats here to half time. The hit outs, it's 24 to Lauderdale, 19 to North Launceston. Clearances 20 to North Launceston, 14 to Lauderdale. Inside 50s, 27 to North Launceston, 11 to Lauderdale. North had 10 to 9 in that second quarter into the breeze. Marks inside 50, 5 to 1 North Launceston's way there as well. And free kicks 17 to Lauderdale, 8 to North Launceston. Just repeating some earlier scores today. And in the under-18s, it was Launceston 9-13-67, defeated the Tigers 6-2-38. And in the TSLW, Launceston 5-15-45, defeated Glenorchy 4-5-29. So Glenorchy will play Clarence in the preliminary final next week. And in the under-18s, Launceston will go ahead to play Clarence in the finals of that competition. Okay, so the umpires are back out on the ground. Benny Donaldson, our cameraman's back in place. We've got the two teams out there. So we've still got a contest here. There's a long way to play it in this game just yet. 6-10-46, 3-5-23. Macca.
Yeah, just spent half time having a chat to the general manager, Carl Saunder, Foz.
Yep.
Said if we ending up in Hobart next week, he'd be more than happy to come on at half time. So put him down as a guest.
Okay.
We can talk about the season gone and the finals ahead.
absolutely locked in. And,
Yep.
of course, City Park Radio will be covering the finals the next 2 weeks, the preliminary final. Of course, it may not be in Hobart.
No, well, that's right. It
Could
might
be
not
here at Windsor Park next week.
It could be. Well, he'll be here anyway.
Yeah.
So happy to come and have a chat to our listeners.
Absolutely.
On City Park Radio.
So we've got a breeze advantage. We've got a 23-point deficit. What's in Darren Winter's mind? How can he? What can he do? Can he just have to hold North Launceston and make a real dash in the last quarter?
Well, you've got to hold on this quarter, don't you, and try and stem the bleeding a little bit. Bryce Walsh, as Chris said, is going to start the quarter. So he obviously had a test, went off, passed that test, had to sit off for the rest of the quarter. But has been given the okay to start. Look, stem the bleeding, maybe throw a Siggins back behind the ball, try and score 1 or 2 up the other end, which North Launceston showed you could do. Just got to use the ball a little bit smarter. Siggins is going to start at centre-half forward, so they're still going to go there. Whether they can get those centre clearances, they've got Franklin, Bell, Chambers and Walsh back in there. And this is what I'm talking about here, Max. If you have a look, no one's behind Hayden Smith. And if Cox Goodger or Whitford or a Ponting gets the ball, then they've got what? With that 6-6-6 rule, they've got all that play.
40 metres
40 metres to go. So we'll keep an eye on that. But, they like to go man on man at the stoppages. And looks like Matt McGuinness might have moved up to a wing and a bit more of an attacking move for Lauderdale. So I reckon he'll be the one that sort of swings back behind the ball as that extra. Nice ball up there from McIndy, the umpire. Comes down in front. There's Bannister, he's held on to.
Ooh.
And Ponting. No, nothing on. So Bannister pumps it inside 50. It's a forward punt. It's going to go long and deep. Bounces off hands. Callow good with the hands. Edmonds is there as well. Well done there, McGuinness. Well, that's a fortunate kick up. And Lauderdale get it out of there. So that's a good start for the Lauderdale defence. It's going to come back in, though, before they know it. Because here's Food. He runs his full measure, kicks it in. Here's McCulloch. Oh, good work. And well done there from Walsh. I think that's Walsh now in the 9 jumper. Fozzel?
Yep. It's now back with Matt McGuinness. He lays back on a kick up towards the wing. A little bit wide. It's out of bounds. So, yep, the jumper change there for Bryce Walsh. That heavy clash between himself and Braden Van Buren, which sees Van Buren out of the game. So, boundary throw in. Centre wing. Far side of Windsor Park. Front position Lee. Wins it nicely. Gets it to Cox Goodger. Slight fumble though. Bannister forces it forward. Wadley's in there. He does pretty well, Carlton Wadley. Kicks towards goal. It's off to the right. It's one behind. First score of the second half. 6-11-47.
Just back to
So
that
3-5-23,
contest over
yep.
here, Connor Young went up for it. I don't know whether either of you noticed. Didn't try and mark it, just palmed it straight down to, I think it was Jackie Abent at the time, and to get it forward. But watch it on the replay. Very clever footy by the young fella.
It's a long outside defensive 50. Nice kick into the breeze. Taken by Ben McGuinness. We'll hand off to Franklin. Now to Siggins. Back to Jeremiah Perkins in a bit of trouble. Does well the young fella though and gets a kick away towards Hayden Smith.
He hasn't been their worst today, Jeremiah Perkins.
No.
I can tell you that across half-back.
Developing player. Smith now towards Bennett in a contest there with Gilby.
Not good enough, Jacob Gilby. I'm sorry. He's playing on a relatively young player in Bennett. Gilby's been to the AFL and Sample and stuff. He's got to show more.
There's now Event gets it to Alex Lee. Alex Lee kicks to half forward. And nearly a mark there towards Edmonds. He can't get it possession, so it's about a lot of players around the ball there. When she comes out to Bryce Walsh, weaves his way through. It'll shimmy, gets it straight there to Cox Goodger. Alex Lee goes a big NFL punt, but it gets smothered. Now to Wadley, don't waste no time, kicks deep to the goal square. It's cleared the goal square, but McCulloch's there. It drifts through for a behind. 6-12-48 North Launceston, 3-5-23 Lauderdale.
Even there, Bryce Walsh does all the work, gets the ball, and then he sort of goes backwards, sideways, and has nowhere to give it to.
Kicks deep to the goal square.
It's been the tail of the tape a little bit today for Lauderdale. Just not really knowing what to do with the footy. Alex Hill doesn't know what to do with it because he just kicked it into the Launceston 4, North Launceston 4 there in Callow. A real mistake, but it hasn't cost them at the moment. It's just a forward line stoppage, 30 metres out from the North Launceston goal. If you just joined us for the second half, it's North Launceston 6-12-48, lead Lauderdale 3-5-23 in the second semi-final. Here's Bannister outside of the boot, tries to bounce it over towards the goal, and he makes it through for a behind. So he was trying to get the Will Langford it was, wasn't it, in the grand final, where he bounced the ball in the square up and over in that grand final. And Couldn't quite do it there, Bannister. Ball comes out. North Launceston set up again. Here's Walsh. Went off injured in the second quarter with a heavy hit. Van Buren out of the game. Whitford goes right, comes back on the left. Repeat inside 50s. Something's going to have to give here in a moment, and it could be this. Mansell, check side goal! Great goal. Something had to give. Something had to give, and it did. And Ryan Mansell has done a little check side shimmy after he got the ball back from the boundary line, and he's flicked it over. Good goal, Ryan Mansell.
Just the advantage of keeping your feet
Keep your
there.
feet, Maxwell.
His opposition player went to ground. Mansell,
That was McManus.
Mansell just tapped it back
Pulled it
behind
back.
him. Yep. Good smart play.
Good goal.
His role this year was very much that a forward line player, wasn't it, in the Devil's Macca, where he's been more of an on-baller in his youth.
Well, he's got great pace, so he plays as that forward line pressure player, and he's kicked a great goal there for North Launceston. But Robbie McManus' one. He's playing just too defensive at the moment. I'd like to see him play up on that wing, but he's playing as a lockdown defender on Whitford.
Yeah, he's certainly one of their generators when they're up and running.
Yeah, we saw him that
McManus.
day here, didn't we, against Launceston, where he just ran and ran and ran. He was nearly best on ground and losing side. McManus. There's going to be a reset. The 6-6-6 as the umpire goes to throw it up. Smith and Lee comes down to Burge. Up and over the top, but it only goes as far as the youngster in Simpson. Son of Marcus Simpson, North Launceston legend. I've seen a few here today. Saw Marcus Todman, Jason Gibson, North Launceston great, Stephen the Doctor Proctor. They're all here. Good to see the old North Launcestonians. Here's Donnelly. Big Sauce goes down the line. It's going to be cut off well there by Ben McGuinness. Gives it over to Matt McGuinness. Over the top, Perkins by hand. They're going to run the footy. Quick kick there by Siggins. Burge leapt for it, couldn't get it. Now North Launceston are going to go back the other way through Food.
As Simpson now gets the handball to Tepper. Tepper left foot inside 50. Taylor Whitford slips over a bit. At the fall of the ball, though, is Callow. Jackson Callow for goal. He's across the face. 7 at 14, 56 to 3-5, 23.
Inside 50s, 5 to zip. So Lauderdale, they've just got to hang on. I tell you what, if North Launceston keep missing, then it at least evens things up a little bit for Lauderdale to come home with a wet sail.
Might open the door. McManus now from fullback. High kick to defensive 50 as Lee front position. Handball away now to Sutton. Sutton's little kick to Raglioni. Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Can't take the mark. Buttering up nicely is Burge. Back to Raglioni. Dispossessed. Out now to Simpson. They're forging it forward though. Now it's Gilby up against Bennett. Might not get to him though. Donnelly in the meantime. Donnelly's handball's not great there towards Rector Solder. He's tackled by Burge. But a ball up about 70 metres out from Lauderdale's goal.
Just little mistakes though, isn't it, Foz? Just Raglioni there misses. Gets two hands to it, misses. And just the cleanliness of North Lonnie. As soon as someone gets it, they have about 3 blokes back behind the footy to give that defensive handball to. They just set up so well, the Northern Bombers.
Siggins, handball, Bannister, dispossessed. Donnelly working hard. Diving back in there.
Oh, let's hold the footy.
I think you're right, Macca. Good decision by the umpire.
Richter Solder.
I think it's Bannister. Yep, Dakota
Bannister.
Bannister. Now it's with Heavey.
You shouldn't question the great Dave Moore.
Up towards half forward now. And, that's almost a mark. Not quite taken. Bennett gets it to Mansell. Ricochet ball. Simpson has got to get rid of it. Little handball now out to Walsh. Siggins for goal. Into the breeze. No. With a goalkeeper there, and that's Jay Foon.
Well, there's the setup, Max, isn't it? There's the setup. That's not pure fluke. Jay Foon's there because that's their structure. Good contest. Callow on Trupp. McManus going to put the foot down, spills out as he gets the footy, goes by hand, puts Walsh under pressure. Nice little backhand palmed him to Baker. He breaks the 50, went to give the handball, went nowhere. Bennett comes through for North Launceston. Back to McManus now. He's going to try and get a look at it. Just that breeze holding up. Here's Gilby at the front of the pack. It's going to be down the front. It's a goal to Lauderdale. It was hard work, but it was a goal to Lauderdale. I think it's McGuinness. Raglioni it is. So good goal, Raglioni. That's his second. Becomes the first multiple goal kicker. It was hard work, Max, but they finally got there, the Southern Bombers.
But that's what they've got to keep doing, Macca. Like, they're not going to get an easy bit of ball today from these guys. And you pointed out from Food a moment ago, just the way he set up behind the play. Wasn't really interested. He knew that what Lauderdale had to do to kick a goal, and he just sat back there as the goalkeeper, like I said, and saved a certain goal from that. And just through a bit of Persistency.
Yeah.
There. That's all it was.
But I like the
effort
fact
after
that
effort.
I like the fact that McManus took the game on. I like the fact that Baker took the game on, and everything was going forwards. At least they took them on.
They did.
Hayden Smith now in the middle, but it's chucked there by Lee. Back to Ponting. Can't get out of the tackle. Ball says the Lauderdale supporters as Davies is tackled, and they're just finding a little bit Lauderdale.
Definitely.
And that's what they need to do.
Yeah, good tackle. 7-14-56 North Launceston lead Lauderdale 4-5-29. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5. And here's the premier caller in Launceston, David Moore.
I don't know about that anyway.
Oh, that was in the Examiner the other week.
Let's see what goes now with Heavey.
Quoting.
Heavey to half forward to Ray Hill. Spoil from behind. Reece Sutton can't quite get to it. Foon, little shimmy, this way, that away, look away, handball now to Davies. He's got Taylor Whitford, he wants him, but he goes himself. Up here to contest. Bart McCulloch out here towards Wadley, picks it up nicely, gets a bit of separation, and now kicks inside 50. Callow front position, takes the mark.
Good jukes.
Good work from Carlton Wadley, who's really built into this season. He's sort of one of the big names in the north side, but he certainly did well then and spotted up Callow, who marks 30 out directly in front.
We watched a lot of the NAB League this year, Dave, and that was something that Callow just continued to do in the NAB League. If he was one-on-one with any opponent, it was just stick the mitts out and grab it. And he's on a pretty good player there in Trump. He's had a great year, and he was just too big and too strong with good delivery from Carlton Wadley.
This one to answer the goal from Raglione. Let's see if he can do it. Jackson Callow, nice long run up. Well, that's going to be 50. He kicks a goal anyway, so it's all clear. 8-14-62.
And the reason we said it was 50 is because Trump ran over the mark, and Callow just kept his nerve and kicked the ball straight over the goal umpire's head. So good result for the youngster in Jackson Callow, playing his first final for the North Launceston senior side.
Just got to regroup again now, the Lauderdale Bombers. It's a bit hard calling them, isn't it? We've got Bombers. We can't call anybody
Southern
Bombers
Bombers, Northern Bombers.
Southern Bombers,
Yes.
Northern Bombers. Yeah, okay.
So what is it? It's 4 goals, 9.
Yeah. I think if they can be within 5 or 6 at three-quarter time...
You'd want no more than 6,
Yeah.
would you? No more than 6 at three-quarter time. Benny Donaldson, the cameraman, starting to get a little bit cold in the fingers. Needs the gloves. Groobs has put the Chicago Bears beanie on. Geez, what a disappointment they were in the first round of the NFL. The Chicago Bears, who's very upset. Starting to ask questions, he is. The Gruber after round 1. Keep an eye on that one, Max, do you, the NFL?
Not a lot, but I will now.
Groobs,
I know Groobs
is Chicago Bear. They lost at home against the Packers in round 1. And he's filthy, but he's still got the colours on. Good work wearing that beanie. Here's Franklin, 30 metres out. Franklin needs it, and he gets it to the water. Well done, good hands, Bryce Walsh. He's up against Tepper there. And Bryce Walsh, good hands, up and over the top. And Nat Franklin tends to be a little bit of a scrubby kick at times. But great goal. And that gets it back again, doesn't it? We said within 6 and three-quarter time will make things interesting. So they're inside that now. And it was a good result. Franklin from 30, good goal.
And they're showing a bit more spirit this quarter, Foz, because whatever Windy said to them at half-time probably gave them a little bit more motivation.
As now we've got a situation here. Alex Lee is limping off. And he doesn't look in a great shape. We'll get Chris Sayer onto that.
Well, Van Buren already out. Lee looks very proppy. Whether he's got the right leg very well strapped. That means McCulloch's had to go into the ruck against Hayden Smith. Smith gets it down. They're starting to come, the Southern Bombers. Whitford throws the head back. He's going to get the free kick. So Bryce Walsh in there again. That one's against Franklin. They've got to now get back behind the footy. Lauderdale. They've just got to stem the flow. Here's the runner, Foon off half-back. Raglione can't hold him up. So Foon, as Maxie said, a little bit more feeling in the game. Just get a chance that they're here. And it's a good mark in defence there from the Lauderdale player in Oscar Shaw.
Shaw spreads it now towards Sutton. Right half-back. We'll get down to Chris at the next stoppage. He's right in front of Alex Lee there as he went off. So Sutton now kicks up the wing. Smith, Wish Wilson. Smith does well. He was instrumental on that last goal for Lauderdale, but his kick not great here to Victor Solder. To Simpson. Oh, man, still under pressure on Karanua. Pushing the back.
Yeah, poor tackle. You've got to stick it and come roll him over. It was definitely there. He was right on him too. He could have put him back, but just got to stick that tackle to Karanua.
As Mansell kicks to half forward. Oh, nice little mark there from Callow coming into the game. Too far out to score. Goes a little dinky kick. It's, is it?
No.
Gee, I think that might have been a touch lucky there to Tepper. Anyway, he's got the ball just outside scoring range. See the replay there? No,
Yeah, might have just got under it.
Now he's caught the play on, nearly caught by Raglione. Kicks to the goal square. Does Tepper. Players fly high, including McCulloch. Well rode there by Matt McInnes. Handball sideways. Oscar Shaw. As it's cleared now out to the far side. It'll be a good result for Lauderdale as it goes out of play. Let's get into Chris Sayer. See what's up there with Alex Lee.
Yes, his left knee. They're flexing, got him up on the stretcher and they're flexing his knee. He can move it, but gee, he's in a lot of pain. So, it's bad.
Just keep an eye on that one as the day progresses.
Boundary throw in. North Launceston's end of the ground going towards the city end. Lauderdale are spirited in this third quarter. It's a kick from Siggins. High. It's going to be held up. And Richter Solder takes the mark. Richter Solder, left foot, inside 50, flying high. Baker runs under it. There on the bottom of the pack is Edmonds. And as is McManus, he could have been taken high, but the umpire says, give it to me, I'm going to throw it up. Jordan Tepper has done more pushing and shoving in the chest today than anyone, and he's the smallest player on the field. Ponting, the class, hands, and he just got his hand to it. Siggins, he went to give the handball to Walsh. He didn't know it was coming. It's now Wadley tucked away in the pocket. Donnelly, is he going to get it? No, he doesn't. It goes out of, goes through for a behind right forward pocket. So Lauderdale trying to hang on. The Bombers are doing it. The Northern Bombers, that is, are doing it in singles at the minute. Just the Mansell goal is their only goal. Sorry, they got another goal, didn't they? Callow. So 2 goals this quarter to North Launceston. Probably take that, Lauderdale, if they can just sneak another one at the river end of the ground here at Windsor Park. Big pack flies. Here's Davies on the 50. Maxie starts the Harley up in the background here. No, it's a big club sport. Holden. And as it roars past us and the ball goes out of bounds, left forward pocket. Turn that back on. Max?
Yeah, thanks, Macca. Yeah, no, it wasn't my Harley, mate. But you just feel that North seem to have more players at the fall of the ball. I just noticed that then there was 2 or 3 of them outnumbering Lauderdale, so they need to address that.
Boundary throw in. Tepper is tackled over the boundary line. Touched dangerously. It's by Walsh. There's a bit of push and shove.
That's not a free kick, though.
Boundary umpire extracts the ball from the melee and is going to throw it in. That's a good idea. Separate things up a little bit. There's Hayden Smith against Callow on this occasion. Taken out by Franklin. Kicks to half back. Bouncing ball. Vent. Sideways handball's a good one to Davies. He's got further support from Ponting. Has to kick straight away. Into the pocket. No one there for North Launceston. So it's just booted out of the fence by Lauderdale. Front position there was Burge. Wadley gets it to Mansell, who's tackled immediately. And there will be a ball up. Inside 50s so far this quarter, 11-3.
Yeah, Lauderdale just getting on top of the clearance is 7-4 though.
Yep.
So that'd be a good sign for there. And it's probably started with Hayden Smith now with Lee off the ground. Callow, quick kick, goes with the breeze. Top of the square, terrible bounce. It goes the Lauderdale way. The two McGinnises try to combine and goes out of bounds right in front of Matt McGuinness, and it's going to be a boundary throw in left forward pocket.
You say that, Macca, that with Lee off the ground that Smith's getting more involved, but I would have given him probably just ahead of Lee before that happened.
Yeah.
He's won most of the
even easier now, the big Haydos, the former Stormer, Western Storm, of course. And the umpire's just trying to take control. There's just little spot fires happening. Smith up against Callow. Left palm from Smith. Here's Whitford diving in. Oh, he's hit hard from Walsh. He's a gutsy player, Walsh. Siggins, quick kick. And here they are set up behind the play. Connie Young taps it down again to Bennett. Another one of those little taps, Max, you're talking about. Inside 50. Oscar Shaw taking arms. Here's McManus. Outside of the right boot is going to bounce out in front of McCulloch. And the umpire says throw it in. Could be one of those ones they called deliberate, even though it wasn't. Just a check side kick from Robbie McManus. Starting to get a bit more of the footy off half back.
Alex Lee's back on his feet, Macca, and he's just flexing his knees, so I don't think he's necessarily gone for the day.
Well, it was actually his other leg, Chris said, apart from the one that he'd had strapped.
Yep.
McCulloch down in front here of Franklin. Carlton Wadley been good at ground level today. Goes back, doing well. Here's Foon, left, right. He's beset upon now. Got to be on the footy umpire. And it is. Going to be a free kick, Lauderdale. Jeez, Bryce Walsh. Play on advantage now. McManus on the outside. Down the line. First time we've seen the ball up here for a while. Wish Wilson sets himself, as does Gilby. Karanaya there. Gilby tackled. Tried to milk the free kick. Umpire wasn't having it. It's going to be a ball up. So right in front of us here in the commentary position. Lauderdale pressing. They're 5-5-35, trailing the North Launceston Bombers 8-15-63.
Okay. As Aidan Smith goes in hard. Ponting can't quite pick it up. So another stoppage. It's 18 minutes in this quarter. 8-15-63. North Launceston, Lauderdale 5-5-35. So holding on here are Lauderdale. As we said, it's probably 5 goals would be nice within that at three-quarter time. 6 at the most. As Siggins round the corner, straight to Rick DeSoto, who takes the mark. This way, that away. Handballs to Ponting. Ponting shrugs off Franklin. And he kicks here towards Wadley. Big fly over the back there from McManus. Falls to Siggins. Back to Baker. Back now to McManus. He's pushed just as he kicked. Nice kick though towards half forward. Rick DeSoto again takes a strong mark.
Jacob Gilby has to do more.
Yep. Now what do we got here?
It's a hold. He's going the free kick before the mark. He's going to go to Davies on half back.
He's got Rick DeSoto if he wants him, but because he's got the breeze, he goes longer. Clears the contest here towards Oscar Shaw at his bootlaces. Bumped off it, but McManus is really coming into the game this quarter. Here towards Heavey. He takes a strong mark in the middle. Thinks about the handball. Now he goes the kick. 2-1 here. As Gilby's there and he takes a strong mark. That was a really tough mark to take. He had a lot of opposition. Now distance could be a little bit of a concern, so he squares it up and no good. Cox Goodger read it better. And marked in front of Walsh. Out now to Mansell. Rebound footy from North Launceston. Little handball to Ponting. Back to Mansell. Confronted, so has the little kick now towards Davies. Liam Davies on the wing. So McManus drifts back, but well done to Edward Trupp, who takes the mark at halfback.
Edward Trupp inside centre square. There's a nice attacking kick. Goes from Hill. Karanaya up here to Burge. Well done, Connie Young. Good tap down. Cox Goodger doing quiet this quarter. Karanaya comes back for a second go. Burge, Siggins had a good quarter. It's another quick kick, and here they are set up behind the play, and it goes to Mansell. Non-existent forward line at the moment, Lauderdale. They're starting to get control of the footy, and they've got no one to kick to. Avent goes out on the 45 to Foon. So Foon marks in front there of Raglione. Just no forwards here at the minute. Maxwell?
No, there certainly isn't.
Looks like Alex Hill might have switched forward next, and McGuinness has gone back. So just got to get to contests. Baker in front, brings it down the front. Egger tackled. Well done, Lauderdale. Hold it up. About 70 metres from goal on the far wing here in front of the interchange boxes at Windsor Park.
We'll get down to Chris Sayer, who's got some news on Alex Lee.
Yes, they're just putting ice on that knee. It's the same knee he had strapped as well. He had, it was strapped before the game, but he has ice on it. He's out for the day.
Okay, so that's 2 players out for the Bombers. They're 2 rotations down inside 50 now. Chance for Callow. Front position, Bannister it was, sorry.
Run Baker.
Well done by Nick Baker. Gets the left foot kick away.
Under pressure.
It's a little bit under pressure. But he cleared the area.
Yeah, that's okay. If they can get numbers back, you'd rather that than a turnover back into the centre corridor.
So free kick in the hands of Jack Avent. Inside 50, a lot of players there. And almost a mark to Bannister. Knocks it in front of himself and tracks it over the boundary line. So let's have a look at the situation here at the 21-minute mark. 8-15-63, 5-5-35.
Yeah, 23 scoring shots to 10.
Yep.
We saw last night, didn't we? 21 and a half minutes.
We saw last night about scoring shots. I think Richmond had far fewer.
Max Walker did turn up and show you his Richmond shirt, Fozzle.
He did. And it comes now from the boundary throw in. A lot of players here. And Cox Goodger is tackled immediately. We have ball up.
And he didn't pay much attention to it either.
Well, he's actually turned his attention from the Brisbane Lions. He's dropped him like a hot potato, and now he's on the We Are United Tassie bandwagon.
Oh, I've seen him in his T-shirt.
He has been on the email all week, just keeping those numbers going, because he can sign more than once, and he just kept going all day.
Oh, come on.
Hey, come on.
There's going to be another stoppage here, deep in defence for Lauderdale. They'll be happy with this. Time is eking away in this third quarter. So there'll be another stoppage. 8-15-63, 5-5-35. So half-time, Mac, it was 6 goals to 3, so 2 goals apiece this quarter.
Yeah. Good result probably for Lauderdale. North Lonnie probably could have put the game away by three-quarter time, but it's not that. This could, though. Egger, out of the pocket, Egger. Oh, jeepers, it hits the post, does it, or just misses left side? No, hit right at the top of that left goal post, Foz.
Yep, so
that could have
behind.
Could have been a little nail.
So it's going to be McGuinness now from the full-back line. He's looking left and looking right. And he drifts out. He goes the handball in the end, unorthodox, but effective as he gets it to McManus. Kicks the half-back. McCulloch thumped away there by Alex Hill. Edmonds is there. He tries to keep it in. He does. Only as far as Heavey. Kicks around the corner. It's going to fall there towards Simpson. Knocked away from him by Saunders. Little handball now from Bell Chambers. Long handball. This is all yet Oscar Shaw. As now it's handball from Whitford to Cox Goodger. He loves these. 55 out. Launches Cox Goodger. It's a goal. Great goal by Bradley Cox Goodger. The trademark left foot 55 metre with the breeze. It sailed through 9:16:70. Plays 5:35.
You can put that
Max
goal down to the inefficiency of Lauderdale wanting to kick the ball. If they didn't realise that there was a heap of grass in front of them with absolutely nobody standing in it, did it ever occur to them that they might actually have a chance to run onto it before North Launceston?
Yep. Yeah, well, you've just got to take ground, don't you? A bit like a rugby league game. Just keep going up, and that's what brought them to go earlier on. Just bring the game forward, and they decide to handball. And as Fozzie said, the cannon, the Bradley Cox Goodyer cannon, the trademark, we see one a week, especially here at Windsor Park. He loves it, and they've been pretty quiet actually, Bradley Cox Goodyer. Not much of the kick of the footy. They've stopped him from kicking it, Bradley Cox Goodyer today, but that one, wow, down towards the city end. 9:16:70, 5:35 Lauderdale.
Here he is again. Cox Goodyer out of the middle. Crowd getting a bit vocal here. Here was McCulloch. Roved though by Callow. And on his right foot. Allows for the breeze a little bit too much.
He did it too
Just
well.
Back in. 9:17:71.
A monster of a kick. He's a monster of a kick, that boy, for a 17-year-old.
He's got the big lever. The big legs. He does time it well. He actually timed that one too well and pierced it through the breeze. So Lauderdale, they cannot afford a goal to go over their heads in this last few minutes. McManus plays on. Goes defensive side of the ground. Saunders sets himself. Was taken out of the contest. No.
Yep.
Yeah, he was taken out of the contest. Well called. Give him a tick for that one. Saunders goes back inside. The wind takes it backwards, but it's a good mark. Lauderdale there to Matt McGuinness. McGuinness, left foot, out in front of Karanai's got to bounce well, otherwise it's going to be 2-on-1. Karanai does pretty well, but he coughs it up. Umpire helps him out. It's going to be a push in the back. So Karanai, centre wing. Just got to see Lauderdale in this last quarter take the game on, run from behind. Here's Ben McGuinness. Decides to stop. He's taken a few more yards there by running. This is going to be over the top to Franklin, who got him behind Donnelly. So Franklin kicks it inside. Walsh and Burge, the lookalike, the twins. Good tackle, Bryce Walsh. Reels him into the ground. And Wadley didn't have much there. Tell you what, things are getting a little bit boisterous up here on the deck too.
Yeah, we've got support from both teams here.
The Patriots here from both teams, the patrons are. They're 5 metres from each other, guys. And I tell you what, if it gets tight in the last quarter, Grews might have to go over and referee a little buster. That's holding the footy. That's going to be a free kick to Ryan Mansell for North Launceston.
He's one of the best tacklers in the Devils team, wasn't he?
He's just so
Ryan
quick,
Mansell.
and he just got such closing speed. Tell you what, geez, Bryce Walsh is tough, Max.
He's certainly lifted since he's come back on too.
Might have been the headache tablets, I reckon.
Might have been, yep.
Contest here.
Back of the pack, sorry, McManus. Goes right, handball, inside out. Shaw. Back to Walsh. Walsh looks up. Saunders has got to go. Good mark by Mansell. And the youngster controlling play. Callow at one end. Mansell at the other. 2-handed inclusions for Northern Bombers today, coming back from the Devils. And he finds A-Man. And there's the siren. 9:17:71 North Launceston. They lead Lauderdale 5-5-35. So 2 goals to 3 for the quarter. But it was also 7 behinds. Inside 50s for the quarter, Foz.
It's a 15-5.
Yeah,
North
15-5. So they started to reach ascendancy in that middle block. They lost Alex Lee, though, at the Northern Bombers. So they're going to start the last quarter, with 2 players on the interchange bench. Goal kickers, Foz?
Yep.
Multiple goals to Bradley Cox Goodyer. He's kicked 2. Whitford, Tepper, Bannister, McCulloch, Mansell and Callow. They've got them now, and for North Launceston and Lauderdale, 2 goals to Raglione and singles to Franklin, Gilby and Saunders.
So you can see the score now for our stream viewers, 9-17-71 to 5-5-35. So Max, 36-point margin. Some good signs there at times for Lauderdale, but certainly that goal from Brad Cox-Goodger, maybe you put it beyond reach?
I think so, Dave. For them to win here, they've got to double their score in a quarter and pretty much not allow North Launceston to score. So
North will be 2 rotations down, which in today's footy is reasonably significant.
It is, Foz, but in today's game, I don't think it's going to be.
Okay.
But I suspect Darren Geard and the rest of the Launceston coaching staff would start to prepare for a game against Lauderdale this week, and Lauderdale's still got a hell of a lot to play for today.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they've had that, 4 losses and 1 win in their last 5 games.
Roster games, fell over the line last week against Glenorchy.
So they would want to get a bit of momentum going forward here. They know that Launceston's sitting here watching them as well, so they wouldn't want to be giving too many secrets away, but in saying that as well, they need to get the score on the board to give them some confidence.
Today's game, I'd say, Max, it's been pretty contested. It's been a little bit of a soft track down here to take the toll on a Lauderdale. Yesterday's game, Foz, was that
similar?
Similar game, was it?
And probably more so, in fact.
Okay,
was,
right. So that's not going to come in. I just thought a day's extra rest. Lauderdale are going to have to go.
Could be significant
next week. Bell Reeve.
We need to take a break here from Windsor Park at 3/4 time. It's 9-17-71 North Launceston, Lauderdale 5-5-35. Back in a moment for the last stanza. From Whitford to Cox-Goodger, he loves these. 55 out, launches Cox-Goodger. It's a goal! Great goal by Bradley Cox-Goodger. The trademark left foot 55 metre with the breeze. It sailed through 9-16-70. Plays 5-5. Welcome back to Windsor Park. You can see the North Launceston huddle there at the moment, and a lot of people around there, including I can see some of the players from yesterday. It was a really thrilling final yesterday, Macca, the Tigers versus North Launceston in the second semi there at
went to extra time.
Went to extra time, yes. And Tigers,
you and Grooves were home half hour later.
Yeah, that's right. But the Tigers got up by a point, so congratulations to them. They're through to their first Tasmanian State League grand final.
So North Launceston
they
go on
play
next
Lauderdale
week.
next week, so that will be an interesting game. There might be a couple of spots up for grabs, Macca, come grand final day. We don't call that one too early, but certainly there's a few good players in that second team, such as James Curran, I know, is playing yesterday. Xavier Todman, who's played a fair bit of footy this
year.
A
couple of youngsters, definitely.
Ben Elmar, who's probably the reserve forward player. So
they got a backup ruckman if Lee can't come up in a couple of weeks.
I'd probably think they'd be relying.
Low, is it Low in the twos?
Cody Low.
Yeah,
he might slot up forward and maybe put Bard in the ruck. So
okay.
Probably Cody Lowe will be the next one in line there. Anyway, 9-17-71 to 5-5-35. Just some of the team stats to three-quarter time. Hit outs. Lauderdale, Hayden Smith's done a great job there. 18-5 in that quarter, and that a lot of that would have been due to the fact that Maxie, that Alex Lee went off. So Hayden Smith definitely got on top there in that department.
Yeah, exactly. Macca, definitely. And look, this is where they've got to gain a bit of credibility back now as well, getting first use out of the centre off Hayden Smith. Kick with this breeze. My instruction to the players would be get it out of the centre. Hayden's winning the ball. Dram it down their throat and just kick it long to a contest, 1-on-1, 2v2, but don't muck around going sideways, trying to get that little extra handball, drawing the player.
Yeah.
When you've got a breeze, 3 or 4 goals strong, you need to get it in there and put a bit of pressure under the North Launceston
They need
defence.
to get McManus on the one wing, Sutton on the other. They need to throw all they can forward, Siggins back into the centre, play forward and just, virtually go. It doesn't matter if you lose by 10 goals.
No.
Let's have a crack now for the first 10 minutes, see what can happen, and then they can start saying, well, okay, look, let's get Bryce Walsh off the ground. Let's start thinking about next week.
Yep, put the opposition under a bit of pressure. Just see how they go under it as well.
Saunders, whatever it is, throw Ben McGuinness forward as well, load up, centre forward and just see what happens.
We better get down to Chris Sayer.
Yes, I just was at the North Launceston huddle. Somehow you think they're going to get by with the down 2 rotations. All they've got to do is win the game. They're not after percentage. So spent a lot of time on the magnet board, made a few changes, but they're going to get through this game. They're still pumped. They reckon they can still win this, and we'll see what this last quarter holds.
No worries, Chris. So we'll talk to you.
Van Buren's walking around with his arm in a sling still, and Alex Lee's ice on his knee.
Okay, so 2 players out there for North Launceston. I didn't quite finish some of the team stats there. Clearances, North Launceston 29-23 over the day. Inside 50s 42-16 in the game so far. 15-5 in that quarter. Marks inside 50, North Launceston 6-2. Free kicks, Lauderdale 21 to North Launceston 15. We're set to go. And it's probably maybe the last quarter of footy in the north of the state this year in the TSL. That's why we'll be heading south next week if Lauderdale don't reverse this current score.
The funny thing is, boss, Lauderdale have actually kicked 5 goals from 16 inside 50s.
Yep.
And that's a good ratio.
Yep. So if they can just get it down there, they've been pretty effective all day. Thanks to our sponsors, Telstra Stores, Quadrant Mall and Kings Meadows. Now a new store in the Brisbane Street Mall. Thanks once again to the Tasmanian State League and AFL Tassie for allowing us to live stream. Simulcast with the radio. So here we go, Matthew McGee, last quarter of the second semi-final.
I'm sure Lauderdale would love a week off if they can get up here today. But they will fight again if they can't. So McCulloch in the ruck as Lee's out. Down to Ponty. Here's Whitford, taken high. Umpire says play on. Back to Bell Chambers. Could have given the hands. Snaps it over on the left. Inside 50. Well done, Fletcher Bennett down the front. They need the first. Karanaya ducks and dives. He's got Saunders on as well. Foon's kept him pretty quiet today. And the umpire said, Saunders, you can have a kick. So here we go. Saunders, he's going to kick from about 45, but with the breeze. This is the one they need, Lauderdale. They need to kick the first 2, I reckon, to get any sniff. Make North Launceston throw a few back behind the footy. So Saunders, wasn't much in the free kick. Foon on the mark. Saunders comes in. They'll start to see the umpire hasn't moved, and it's Saunders' goal. Wow, what a beautiful kick, and that's the start they need. Less than a minute in, and Lauderdale kicked the first of the last quarter, and now they've got to follow it up, Maxwell.
They do, Macca, and it all started from that just quick panic ball in to put the backs under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it was a snap from Bell Chambers over his shoulder, Max.
Yep. Yeah, could, like you said, could have fed it off to the hands, but elected to kick. Bit of a chaos ball into the forward line, and
we've called for it all day, really, especially with the breeze.
Yeah.
And even here in that last quarter, they could have got it inside 50 more. So Smith up against McCulloch. I don't reckon McCulloch thought he was going to do too much ruck work today, but he's going to have to do pretty much a whole quarter with a little bit of help, maybe from Jackson Callow.
Don't think he's a big fan of the ruck.
No, but
2 goals from
coming back. That's a pretty average bounce, and the umpire's going to give a free kick to McCulloch, but it was outside the square, outside the circle. Should have been brought back.
A bit slow getting up, McCulloch. 2 goals now to Saunders.
He might just go off for a little spell, the Bartholomew, Max.
Out to Foon now. He goes sideways here towards Ponting. Ponting has Mansell cruising by. He beckons players to come towards him. Goes wide towards Bannister. 2 wide. Out of bounds on the full.
And McCulloch goes off for the spell. Maybe Donnelly now to ruck.
Yep. So he copped a little bit of a knock there.
Oh, he did. No, he caught one.
But McCulloch, keep an eye on that. So Edward Trupp. Nice thump of the ball on the boot there, and now affects Mike as he kicks up towards the wing. Here's Franklin now taking possession. He's tackled by Ponting. Gets some sort of handball away. Cox Goodger's confronted. Well tackled by Baker. And it'll be a ball up.
Even that there, Franklin, get the kick in. Get the kick in. Gain your 30 metres. Even if it scrubs, you've got Alex Saunders right there as well. That's all they had to do.
Carrenew was up there as well, so they've got a bit of firepower up there in the forward line at the moment. Franklin's got it again. He can't release a handball. Be another ball up. 6-5-41, 9-17-71. 3 minutes gone. So we'll be wherever the preliminary final is next week, whether it be here or in Hobart at Launceston Arena, as Whitford might have been held without it. North fans wanted it. There'll now be another stoppage. Taylor Whitford still puts his thumbs out to the umpire. It's a vocal crowd here on this side of the ground. A few people have made the trip up. So Bryce Walsh says, don't worry about it, just throw the ball up.
That's it. That's what he should be saying too.
Haydos Smith, he gets it out to Walsh. Good ruck work. Here towards Carrenew. Oh, good work from behind there from Jack Avent. He gets bumped though by Franklin. He manages to get a handball away somehow. Cox Goodger is tackled to the ground in a rugby league tackle.
Bump's an interesting choice, Max.
Bryce Wells is a little bit angry, I think, at the moment.
Oh, jeez, I tell you what, he's come back in this second half. He's been amazing. Look at him. Yeah. Angry Ant, that fiery redhead, strawberry blonde, he'd like to call it. Comes down in front. He lays another tackle on Cox Goodger, puts him into the deck. And geez, they've battled in that midfield today. Franklin's been pretty good.
Yep.
Scrappy with the footy. So he's done an okay job on Ponting, as good as Ponting can be. I think Franklin's done a pretty good job and got enough of the footy himself. Bryce Walsh comes through the pack at speed, but only goes as far as Whitford. Siggins. Here's Davies. This could be it. Break the 50. Hits up Callow, but he's second of the footy. Alex Hill. Here's Callow, goes past him now. Twists and turns, falls over. Does the youngster in Callow. Coming through there, the laid in Jeremiah Perkins. He's set upon well. Davies probably could have gone another bounce and taken it on himself. Tried to hit up Callow, who was probably a little bit slow to react. And they get away with one there, Lauderdale. Smith and Callow. Callow pushes Smith right in the chest. Umpire says play on, and it's going to be a ball up just a metre or so inside North Launceston's 50, and they'll just try and slow the game down here now, the Northern Bombers. Try and ring the play, put an extra one back behind the footy in Donnelly. So even if they get a kick out, Lauderdale's going to go straight to Donnelly. And it's going to be Burge up against Mansell. He's been pretty good off half-back today. Mansell showing his speed. Inside 50 or top of the 50, Ponting takes the mark in front of Franklin. So Ponting, he's got Callow up front again. He's going to look for him. In fact, it's Bannister. He's going to set himself. Flying there, Lauderdale defenders all in a line of three. Siggins takes it and is taken off his boot by Callow. Over the top handball. Got to get rid of it quick. Smith gives it there to Bryce Walsh, who only goes as far back to Ponting, top of the 50. Burge tries to hold him up. Clever tap on Ponting. Lauderdale just need to get a kick out and it'll go with the breeze, but they can't do so at this stage. There's going to be a ball up again, North Launceston, 30 metres from their goal. Dave Moore.
Yep, 6-5-41, 9-17-71. So Lauderdale just can't afford a goal to be conceded. They need to probably keep them goalless in this quarter to have any chance. Bannister releases it now to Tepper. Tepper kicks towards full forward. Billy Edmonds might have got one over the shoulder. He did. Play on to advantage. It's Jay Foon, and he's going to go in and score a goal for North Launceston from the goal square. So the over-the-shoulder free kick was given, but Jay Foon, front and square, he converted the goal for North Launceston, and that's the one that the Lauderdale Bombers didn't want.
Certainly worth 2 goals that one, David, against the Breeze, and I think any sniff that Lauderdale were trying to get into this game might have just been extinguished then by that good contest there by Will Edmonds, all over him, just jumped on him, clawed him, kicked him, scratched him, whatever you want to call that one.
It was a clean play on advantage, though, wasn't it? Because it went straight to Foon. So
I think whether the free kick was paid or not was probably a moot point, because I think the goal would have been scored anyway. So back in the middle, 10-17-77, 6-5-41. Jay Foon getting forward for a rare goal. He kicked a few earlier this year. A couple in the game, I remember. And anyway, the ball comes forward now. It's a great mark there to Liam Davies. He's been a real revelation this year for the Bombers. Such a great kick. Cox Goodger will struggle to keep this in, and he doesn't. Bounty umpire does a good job right on the spot. And blows the whistle. Bounty throw in, centre wing. There's a bit of filtered sunlight now falls upon Windsor Park.
Not on the commentary team.
No, I'm feeling a little bit of warmth. It's out, comes out of Burge. Tepper goes in hard. Started the game like a house on fire, but has faded a little bit. There'll be another ball up. Umpire McIntyre comes in. 7.5 gone. 36 points Trying to work out how many grand finals in a row this will be for North Launceston. Mac, you can do that calculation while I keep calling the play.
Okay, no worries, Dave.
As here they come on North Court. Be another ball up.
Just having a look at the VFL scores, Dave.
Yep.
Werribee Tigers, of course, former Western Storm and South Lonnie boy in Matt Hanson plays for them. They're a goal down against Essendon, and yesterday it was Port Melbourne, led by Eli Templeton. They got the win over the Footscray Bulldogs, so
yep,
good result for Port Melbourne. And Essendon are a goal up.
And Brody Gray in the waffle kicked the winning goal for the
Eagle Thunder? Was it?
No, he's playing for the Eagles this
Eagles,
year.
is he?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
delisted.
Sherrinegger takes it. 2 kicks out from goal. Little short kick to find Rushton. 15 metres just. Probably too far out to score. He's looking around for support. Players making leads left, right and centre. He's going to have a crack, is Jackie Rushton. So they might just gather in the goal square. This might fall a touch short. Please might have dropped perhaps. Now he goes sideways. Intelligent kick to Cox Goodger. He gets bustled over by Walsh. No 50. So Cox Goodger is within range. Smart play there by Jack Rushton. He just held back on the kick, Maxi, and then he found Cox Goodger hitting up.
He did, and he's give it to the one guy who could kick it 40, 50 metres into this breeze, no problem at all. I don't think he'll try and do what Bart did earlier in the day and play on around the man on the mark, though.
North Lonnie first made it in 2014, if I remember rightly. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This might be their 5th or 6th in a row.
Scrolling through for you, Fozzle. Keep calling.
Here's Cox Goodger from 45. Kicks it beautifully into the breeze. Sets another one to North Launceston. Brad Cox Goodger kicks his third. 11, 17, 83. 6-5, 41. And that's put the result probably definitely I'd say, beyond doubt here at Windsor Park. Cox Goodger runs to the boundary after kicking his third for the day.
What year did you say?
2014, was it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So they beat the Western Storm, and then they beat Glenorchy in 2015, and then Glenorchy beat them, and then they beat Lauderdale, and then they beat Lauderdale.
Yep, so this will be the 6th in a row.
Yeah.
So great achievement by North Launceston. Probably started under Zane Littlejohn, who's gone on to big things now with the Brisbane Lions.
Well, speaking of that, Fozzle, that Zane Littlejohn will be locked in battle right about now with the...
Get back to that in a sec.
Brisbane
While you're looking
Lions.
it up, it's Taylor Whitford. Kicks to half forward. Billy Evans attacks the ball. He gets the ball now at 48 out. Kicks towards the goal square. Bannister takes the mark. No, he doesn't quite take it. Paddles on in front of him and it falls out of bounds. It's another clearance there from North Launceston.
Yeah, so for those people interested, the Brisbane Lions reserves beat the Sydney Swans reserves
in the NEFL?
by 50 points. So Brisbane Lions will play Southport in the NEFL Grand Final next weekend.
All Queensland one. There's Haydos Smith gets it out. Whitford goes in on top of the ball. He can't clear it. So they know that ball up. 11 at 17, 83, 6-5, 41. So next week you'll be able to watch the stream or listen to the radio. Gilly and the boys, of course, they'll be doing the stream there at Launceston Arena, and we'll have the radio for those that can't make a screen. So we'll have it all covered here for TSL. As Billy Evans takes the mark, 45 out, straight in front, kicks the goal. And they're piling on the goals now, the Northern Bombers. That's his second for Billy Edmonds. 12, 17, 89 to 6-5, 41. Got my distances wrong there. I said 45. It was about 25 out for our radio listeners directly in front. Not the first time this year I've got
That's
my
not the up and down one. That was a call.
No, I have to erase that one from YouTube.
It's another score. We've got Tasmanians playing everywhere around the country. Former Tasmanians. Chase Jones, part of the Adelaide Crows reserves. They won their final today by 62 points. Chase Jones, 14 possessions, kicked 0 goals, 2.
Fantastic. So Mackie got it all covered.
That's their
Tasmanians.
round 20 game. I don't think that's a final yet. I think that's their final round. And final start next week for them.
As comes Bryce Walsh now for Lauderdale. Can he spark them up in the dying minutes of this game? As he kicks towards full forward. And that's almost a mark there to Siggins. In fact, sorry, it was Ben McGuinness. Ball comes out now to Edmonds on the wing. He's got a lot of space. He takes a bounce. Handball over the top now to Wadley, who's also got space. He might take a bounce. Handball sideways. It's Callow. Back to Wadley, who'll be under a bit of pressure. He can take it. Lauderdale defence do pretty well. Aidan Smith gets the handball away to Matt McGuinness, who released the Heavey at halfback.
Alex Heavey, centre wing in front of Davies, goes sideways. What do they do now, Lauderdale, Max? Do they just pack up the shop and hope for no injuries?
Well, they've certainly behaving for no injuries. I wouldn't be packing up the shop, though. You've still got to put in a creditable performance to get a bit of confidence up for next week.
Amazing, the other week I heard North Launceston finished the game with 12 players on the ground against Glenorchy in the last game just to stop the injuries. It was a little bit contentious with a few of the North Launceston players, but they've come to play today, and it looks like, as Foz said, they're going to go into another grand final, 6 in a row, as Lauderdale go inside 50. Another Tassie player I saw yesterday, Jesse Crichton. Remember Jesse Crichton? Played at North Launceston, Scottsdale boy.
Yep.
He actually won the Southwestern Football League Best and Fairest for the season down there in the bottom end of Western Australia.
Ex-North Launceston player?
Yeah, played at the Dockers, at the Freo Dockers. Really good player, Jesse Crichton, back in his Tassie Mariner days. Terrific runner.
Keranoia now takes it, kicks inside 50. Mark not taken by Saunders. Fletcher Bennett's wrapped up. It'll be a ball up. 13 and a half minutes gone.
It's good to follow all these players right around Australia, former Tasmanians, and I'm sure Foz would like to get a few back if we get a VFL team.
Yeah, I think that'll be the aim. Maybe even get a couple back next year, just in preparation. We'll wait and see. As
it's gone on the quiet a bit, the VFL team. Maybe something we can ask Carl Saunders about next week.
Here's Keranoia. He got tackled, fell over. North Londy defence can work it out here through Davies. Nice little tap on. Tepper up against a couple on the boundary line and forces it over. So it's a boundary throw in. 12-17-89, 6-5-41.
You were quick on the uptake then, David. When we talked about players coming back, you didn't even breathe. You just said yes.
No, I think it'd be good, if possible, to get a few players back next year in preparation for the VFL team, because there's a lot of players.
Is it still on the table, Dave, the VFL team?
I think so.
It's gone by
Burge launches inside, forward 50.
Oh.
Out now to Simpson. Little handball back to Foon. Now to Simpson. He goes sideways and finds Bennett. So Bennett in his defensive goal square. Spreads it now towards Tepper. And it's out of bounds. So Blunston Arena will be the venue next week, I'd say, between Lauderdale and Launceston. The fascinating preliminary final.
On what you've seen today and yesterday, Foz?
Blues would have to start favourite. They did cop a few knocks yesterday, but we'll wait and see who comes up. But I'm pretty sure their midfield is pretty red hot at the moment. But Lauderdale, of course, I would not write them off. They've got a good list. And they'll be certainly down at Bellerive, where they've played a lot of football. All these guys from the Eastern Shore.
And you'd think the deck would be in pristine condition at Bluntstone. Yep. No local finals being played there. They're all at North Hobart.
That's right.
Yep.
So it should be a good deck there, as you say, Maxie. Umpire McEntee will ball it up. We've been playing 15 minutes. So just joined us, a couple of big injuries for North Launceston. I'll get to in a sec as Bill Chambers releases a handball. And how does the umpire see this? He's going to penalise Bill Chambers for incorrect disposal, is he? Yes, he is. So Tepper will take the free kick. Yeah, so a couple of big injuries. Braden Van Buren with an elbow injury and Alex Lee with a knee injury. So not sure how bad Alex Lee is, but the fact that he had to come off in the crucial part of the game would indicate that might be a little bit in that one. We'll wait and see. Of course, we saw North Launceston win a few years ago against the odds, Macca, when Roosendale was out.
That was the...
In fact, that was Alex Lee, wasn't it? I think.
It was.
That was his big break in the North Launceston side.
Yeah, it was. That was a massive win, wasn't it? I think that was Little John's.
Yep.
One of his first wins.
There's Bill Chambers on the boundary line, slung in the kick. Donnelly leans back on it up the line. Jeremiah Perkins does pretty well. Handball's into McCulloch, out of bounds. Boundary throw in. There's Jordan Tepper. Looks a bit worse for wear behind play. He's up and about now. Front position Smith. Gets it nicely to Franklin. He's tackled by Rushton. So it'll be another ball up. It's a bit of sting gone out of the game.
Yeah.
North Launceston with those couple of goals. Cox, Goodger, Edmonds, Foon. Those are 3 goals in this last quarter. Now with Jackie Rushton. Pushed off his kick. Egger and Perkins at it. Well done, Perkins. To the front. Oh, strong tackle there on Bill Chambers by Rushton. You can hear the clash of flesh there. Now, Frex might. Macca, over to you.
Well, as you said, Foz, I think the sting has definitely gone out of this one. What have we got? 17 and a half minutes gone. Probably 10 to go. Playing for a bit of pride at the moment, Lauderdale. And they'll go back down the highway tonight. Darren Winter and his crew to come up with a a Launceston game plan that's going to try and beat Launceston. Ryan Mansell's on his bike here. A turnover, though, it's going to go to Gilby. Left foot kick, gets it up at the top of the pack, and down the front it's going to be Raglione again. He's going to kick his third. Does Raglione. And 3 for Raglione. And once again, though, Max, they get the ball in quick, go to the top of the square, put the North Launceston defenders under pressure, don't allow them to set up with a slow play, and look what happens.
Yeah, exactly, Macca, and it'll be something that once they look at the tape and review the game, you would like to think that that's the way that they'd play against the Launceston team as well, because the Launceston defence aren't quite as experienced as these guys, and got a couple of younger guys back there in Hodge and Tuthill and Boyd and so forth, so they could put them under a lot of pressure if they played that way.
They just haven't give their forwards enough opportunities, like 21 inside 50s for the game, and that's Foon going off now over the far side, Foz.
Chris Sayer, please have a look at that one. I think
he's okay, just a little bit of soreness, I think. Might have caught one in the contest there down on the top of the goal square, and you'll be right. Donnelly, that's a nice tap down from Smith, goes to Franklin, hits up his forward target, Raglione, who's kicked 3. Well done. The youngster in Simpson, Scotch Oakburn student, premiership player there, 2-time. Edmonds, up against his opponent here, Lauderdale, that's Wish Wilson. He goes left and right by hand. Here's Siggins, over the top to Raglione. Non-preferred right boot, gets it in. Fall of the pack again. Saunders. Over the top here, having a look at the goals. It's going to go out of bounds. The Lauderdale player there right over the other side. Fozzo.
Ray Hill.
Yep. Ray Hill, one of the inclusions today.
Chris Sayer says Foon is winded, so he'll be fine.
He'll be right. That kick's gone out of bounds, and then the front row of the cars, and Siggins is going to take the free kick right on the sector of the 50-metre line and the boundary. So he can have a crack at this, Siggins. Gets it on the breeze. He's on the right side. Start at right goal post and watch it go through. I'm backing him in, Max.
You are.
Siggins. Deliberate approach. Hits it. Goes with the breeze. Right there. Point. Missed it night side. They were lining up. Lining up. The players didn't move across, but he got enough on it.
Just faded at the last minute.
I'll tell you what, Lockie Whitfield kicked one from there yesterday for the Giants, right on the sector of the 50 and the boundary line. Oh, it was beautiful off the boot. One of Fozzie's favourites, Whitfield. Is Lauderdale, though, they take the repelling mark, and it's taken by Nick Baker.
He loves those expansion teams, Foz.
Yes, he does.
Oh, goodness gracious. Baker goes right to the top of the square. North Launceston fly down the pack. There it is. Well, we've been calling for it all day. Goal to Gilby. So I think Lauderdale supporters are pretty keen for him to come back. But once again, the sting's gone out, but it's just where you got to kick it, doesn't it? Top of the square, make him defend, kick the goal, bang.
8-6-54 Lauderdale, 12-17-89.
Second goal, Jacob Gilby.
Second goal, Jacob Gilby. So the margin back to 35 points.
35 is 6 goals, isn't it? And, it's probably about right too, I reckon.
3 goals straight to 3 goals. Let me see, 3 goals, 1 in this last quarter. So Lauderdale have outscored the Bombers slightly. We've still got probably 5 or 6 minutes to go.
Callow in the ruck now. So Callow and also Donnelly have been sharing those duties. Hayden Smith. See whether he goes back to Franklin again. So Smith, left hand, down the front. Wadley, tackled. Top of the circle. Tell you what, with those few injuries, if they could have just been a little bit closer and start playing with a little bit more pace, anything could have happened this quarter. North Launceston, 6 grand finals in a row. They're going to have to go south and play the grand final no matter what, Foz.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Mackie, you speculated around a VFL side before, and I've been contacted by, and I have contacts in high places.
Yeah, no, you do.
AFL Tasmania.
You do.
It's definitely happening.
Still on the table. What year?
Definitely happening. 2021.
2021.
Yep.
Good. Okay. That's good. It's sort of been overshadowed,
put that
hasn't
speculation
it?
to bed. That's
been overshadowed. That's all. And not much has been said about it.
As it's a free kick now here at half forward. There's umpire McAtee. It's holding the man decision. Bit of cramp there for Jordan
colours?
Tepler.
Gold and primrose you'd talk about?
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Devils. So that'll be good for those players coming through that under-18 Devils program. In the past, they've sort of left the state, haven't they? To hopefully keep them here for a year of PSL footy next year, and then VFL in a couple of years. So that'll be exciting. Back to the Devils. Here's Whitford. Might look for a coaching position with the Devils. Taylor Whitford. He could do a lot worse. Chopping of the arms against Bryce Walsh. Bradley Cox-Goodger's going to take the free kick Fozzie's going to call for a little left to right. As Cox Goodger's on his knees. He's a little bit cooked down there, tired. Cox Goodger. Cox Goodger. He's going to take
his full 30
He's going
seconds.
to take his full 30 seconds. McIndy. He's going to set up.
Slow start today from Cox Goodger,
Yeah,
but certainly
look, he
made
had-
up for it after that first quarter, hasn't
Definitely. And Bradley Cox Goodger, the RSCT Player of the Year. Cox Goodger goes around left foot. Fozzo comes back. Oh, it's one left, it's one right. And Bradley Cox Goodger brings it back, and it's gone through for a goal. And that's just a lazy 4 today, Max.
And just getting a look of amazement on the assistant coach of Sleeper Whitfield there. Whitford, sorry.
So Cox
The
Goodger.
boys are in awe.
What are they saying?
I don't know.
Adrian Smith in there is just, I don't know what's the matter. He's a little bit bemused that he's kicked that. It's actually, well, I don't know.
Jimmy Higgs special.
Looking at the replay, Foz, yeah, we'll have to get a look at that. But didn't go behind the goal post and back, did it? I don't know.
Anyway, it's a goal on the scoreboard.
It's a good goal. Jeez, it swung both ways in amazement. Bradley Cox Goodger's kicked 4. North Launceston 13-7-95. Lead Lauderdale 8-6-54.
So from the middle, out comes Karen Ewer. Takes a bounce. Kicks low towards half forward. Jackie Avent takes it. Getting dark here, hard to see on that far side. Out to Siggins. Fumbles slightly. Callow is there with him. Siggins comes back. He gets tackled by Callow, but the ball's out of bounds. So it'll be a boundary throw in. A little bit of afters over there. No one wants to do anything silly at this stage. Both teams up for a game still in 2019. North Launceston the grand final. Lauderdale the prelim next week. Taken by Bell Chambers. Little kick is out of bounds. 13-17, 95, 8-6, 54. So 4 goals to 3 in this last quarter.
Yeah, so they have a week off, North Launceston. Coaches will head down and watch the preliminary next week. The players will enjoy the week off.
Burge kicks off a step inside 50. That's Callow back there. Is it working defence? No, it's Fletcher Bennett. Little handball over the top. And tired players now as we're at the 25-minute mark. It's only a couple of minutes to go.
They've been training at Invermain Park, North Launceston, have they? Like during the week? I know they trained at St Pat's College last Saturday.
Correct.
As a full ground sort of drills. But, of course, Utah's out of action. Just big pile of dirt at the moment.
As Bill Chambers gets it, it's a little kick out here. It's going to be missing near side there, so behind a Lauderdale. 8-7-55. North Launceston 13-17-95. Out comes Connor Young. Beautifully pinpointed pass here towards Jay Foon. Kicked a goal earlier this quarter.
Might be time to reinstate the Launceston to Hobart aeroplane in a couple of weeks if the result goes Launceston's way, Foz.
Through, or the train.
Or the train.
Yeah. I can remember travelling on the train, Macca. I was one of the last trips that it took. I was on that one.
Really?
Yep. It was a very entertaining trip. About 5 hours, but entertaining.
Jesus, nearly still. No disrespect, but it's close to that now sometimes in the vehicle, isn't it?
Sometimes it's a boundary throw in. Donnelly up against Smith. Smith gets a tap away. Donnelly's going to be happy to see this over. No, he keeps it in. Strong contest there with Bryce Walsh. Out of bounds. So Blunston Arena next week. We'll get the start time as soon as we can for that one. Imagine it'll probably be 2 o'clock or 2:30. And, North Launceston, of course, down south next week, playing in the Mercury Cup prelim against Lauderdale. So Lauderdale featuring both games next week down there. As here comes Bryce Walsh, kicks to half forward. A lot of players going to go to this contest. Well, a lot of flyers, but Fletcher Bennett keeps his feet at the back. Little handball backwards towards Event. Event goes sideways. Jeremiah Perkins there, kicks off the ground. Sharon Egger in pursuit. That's going to be over for a boundary throw-in.
Any of these boys, Foz, would be eligible North Launceston D-League?
No.
Any that you know of that have played a few D-League games?
None of these, Macca, no.
No. Played too many in the seniors?
Absolutely, yep. So this is almost their full-strength team. Well, this will be their full-strength team today.
Yep.
So Hayden Smith back to Walsh. Weaves his way through beautifully. Little handball out of Siggins. From about 48 out, he allows for the breeze. Doesn't come back quite enough. 1 point, or one behind for Lauderdale, 8-8-56, 13-17-95. Macca, take us through to the siren.
No worries, Foz, we will. The semi-final action's nearly all over here at Windsor Park. North Launceston will go into their 6th grand final in a couple of weeks. Lauderdale will go on and play Launceston down at Bellerive next week. Walsh, geez, he's been good today, Walsh. He'd have to be in the votes. This bloke hasn't been bad either. Franklin has a shot at goal flying, misses left side. So, they've had some good, good tries, real good battlers today, Max, haven't they? Lauderdale, like Walsh has played well, Franklin's played well, just haven't had any run at all, really, across half back. This one's going to hold up in the breeze. What a mark, Richter Solder. Richter Solder.
Seen him take mark of the year out here earlier, didn't we? Over on the far side there.
Very terrific, called it.
Unlucky not to make the team of the year. Dave Moore. Davies takes the mark. How did Colin Garland not make the team of the year? Did he not play enough games or something? He kicked enough goals.
Yeah, no, he probably didn't play.
Is that a controversy?
No, I
Garland?
think the team's been well received, Macca.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think they're the two, Richter Solder and Garland. We might ask Carl Saunders about it next week. But anyway, look, I thought the team was better than not. But look, we'll delve into that next week, and those people that haven't seen it will have an opportunity, have a bit of a look at it. But no, look, it was one of the better ones I've seen as the ball goes out of bounds far side of the ground. Look, Jake Smith played well yesterday, they said, Foz.
Yep, he's one of the most improved players. As it's inside 50 now from Ben McGuinness, just offline, one behind. 8 goals, 9-57, 13-17-95. So a long quarter this one. We're going over 29 minutes.
No, so Jake Smith?
Yep, he's one of the most improved players in the league, there's no doubt about that.
Played on who yesterday?
There's
the siren.
There's the siren.
There it is.
So North Launceston 13-17-95, Lauderdale 8-9-57. And that's the siren, and that is another grand final for North Launceston. That's 6 in a row. A magnificent achievement from the North Lonnie Footy Club. Lauderdale live to fight another day. They'll be down at Blunston Arena next week to play against Launceston. So Macca will go through the goal kickers.
Yeah, well, Bradley Cox-Goodyear kicked 3 in the second half, ended up with 4. So that's a good return for him. 49 goals for the year now, Bradley Cox-Goodyear. 2 to Will Edmonds, and then singles to Taylor Whitford, Jordan Tepper, Dakota Bannister, Bart McCulloch, Ryan Mansell, Jackson Callow, and Jay Foon. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 individual goal kickers for North Launceston. That's just their team, isn't it?
Yep.
Lauderdale, they managed 3 goals to Raglione, 2 to Gilby, 2 to Alex Saunders, and single to Nat Franklin.
So I'll keep an eye out there because Chris Sayer might try and get a word. It's a bit more difficult in finals to try and get a word with the coach, but we'll just keep an eye out there to see if that's possible. And I might get you guys to have start a little bit of a wrap-up of the game. And I'll get my glasses out there for Chris if we get an interview, or cross straight to that.
Yeah, well, North Launceston win the toss, Max. They kick with the breeze. I think you mentioned, after 15, 16 minutes, Lauderdale would have been fairly happy, but they kicked those last couple of goals of that quarter, which blew the margin out to nearly 4 goals at quarter time. And then Lauderdale just couldn't get anything going. It was 2 goals apiece in that second quarter. And then they just played better, didn't they, North Launceston? Better right across the ground, more contributors, used the ball better structure behind the ball. Lauderdale's game plan just didn't suit the conditions, I don't think. They didn't want to get the ball in and make use of the wind when they had the opportunity.
No, they didn't, and you've summed it up pretty well there, Macca. And the key to the North Launceston win today, I think, was their structure behind the ball. It just absolutely smothered any opportunity they had to try and play with any system, getting it into the forward line, and the only way that they could score and got their scores today was that quick chaos ball in deep into the forward line, like we called it early on, to say, look, try something different, because countless times we've seen them going across the ground, sideways, backwards, and North Launceston just kept smothering every time when they tried to do that.
Like, I think I've seen North Launceston play better too. Like, the conditions probably didn't suit with that breeze, but they just do enough, don't they? And just that setup and structure. It's just, every soldier for themselves. They can just set up behind, and they just know what's going on. They have a clearance as Taylor Whitford and Jackie Avent get lifted from the ground in their 150th Foz. So well done to those two multiple premiership players. And
quite understandably, Taylor didn't want to be interviewed, and this is the very reason why. He's going to be cheered off the ground.
That's it.
Through the supporters.
Well done. And Alex Lee hobbles off with crutches. And Braden Van Buren with a arm in a sling. So more to come there for a couple of weeks' time. But Van Buren's in probably more worse shape than Alex Lee.
Get down to Chris. Chris, how did you see things at ground level that last quarter?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how those two injured players come through. Of course, they got 2 weeks off. I think they'll really need those 2 weeks too if they can come back at all. Would have been interesting to ask Taylor Whitford about playing closer to the South Pole in a couple of weeks. Pretty cold down here.
Yep.
But I'm sure they're a professional team. They'll play anywhere. They don't have the Geelong syndrome. They don't care if they play away from home.
Okay, Chris, dig in there to Geelong and St Kilda supporter. Thanks, Chris, for your efforts today down the boundary.
Okay, looking forward to next week too. It's going to be a good game, a good matchup too. So I think even Launceston playing away from home, they're going to be hard to beat.
They are indeed, so that'll be a fascinating preliminary final. Okay, boys, we better finish up the stream here because Ben's got to get ready for the presser, but maybe some better players from both teams.
Well, as I said, I don't know if there was a real standout for North Launceston. I think Lauderdale's players probably had more standouts in terms of what they gave to their side. I thought, obviously, Bryce Walsh, we mentioned that, Franklin were their two best players, and the big fella in the ruck did a really good job there. I think,
but they were just battlers all day.
Siggins was pretty good too at times, yeah.
They were, but they weren't, like you say, they weren't outstanding. It was just a scrappy way to become a best player today for your team, and they really just battled on.
Jordan Tepper started the game really well for North Launceston. Obviously, Cox Goodyear finished the game well. Taylor Whitford was really good for 3 quarters when he didn't do much and didn't have to. Then we go down Richter Solder and Avan across half back. Ryan Mansell, I liked his game today, attacking off half back and managed to kick a goal when he went forward. Ponting, they sat on Ponting most of the day, but once again, he probably still had 20-plus touches and clean with the ball.
Carlton Wadley did some really good in and under
speed
stuff
and action, and Jay Foon and Fletcher, they just continue to play their roles, these blokes. Fletcher Bennett,
it was one of his better games today that
Simpson's
I've witnessed.
definitely.
And young Simpson, he plays his role really well. Just needs to break out a little bit more, Simpson, and take the game on.
Just doesn't have that body to run, though. It's more that in behind the play, set up quarterback. He uses the ball pretty well from there. But look, they just give those young kids confidence. You got a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old in Mansell and Callow coming into your side. They come in, they play their role, they know exactly what they're doing, and they contribute.
Will they be in the best 20 come a fortnight?
Who?
Well,
Callow and Mansell. Shivers,
You'll put them in?
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness gracious me, I don't think the side's only going to change because of those injuries. I don't think there's anyone else to come in there at all, really. Depends who plays well next week for them, probably in the D-League. The D-League's probably playing for a spot in the senior grand final if
I guess their biggest danger is, looking for a ruckman if Lee doesn't make it, because like Darren Geard said at half-time, Leadham's having a really good year, and they've got some height to back him up there as well. So
Cody Lowe's the obvious choice, played a few senior games this year. For all that. No, but look, Callow and Mansell definitely play.
Okay, and better players for Lauderdale.
Yeah, look, I think I did that one, Foss.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Yeah, we did. Smith, Franklin and Bryce Walsh.
Okay, boys, so off down to Hobart next week. We'll work out who the team's going to be in a minute. But it'll be Launceston versus Lauderdale at Blunston Arena. And we'll be on here 5 minutes before the start of that game. And looks like we've secured a half-time guest maker.
Yes, you got the big general manager.
Yeah, okay,
man.
So I've received some answers about the team of the year thing too. So
you boys have had a big weekend, you lads.
Oh, we have.
Groups. Well done. You've travelled the state. You've done the women's, and you've done well, you lads. So
it's
well
been
done.
a big few days because we did the Riverside Kings Meadows game Wednesday night.
Extra time.
Yeah. So and we had the stream today.
Well done.
It's been a big day.
See you in Hobart.
No worries. Thanks to everybody on the team. Thanks, Macca. Thanks, Maxie.
No worries at all, David. Thoroughly enjoyable again, and thanks to everyone for listening.
Thanks to Chris Sayer behind me. Thanks to Dave Gruber. Thanks to Ben, the cameraman. Thanks to Ashley, who's on the stream today. And thanks to the Launceston Footy Club. That's all from us. The final score here at Windsor Park. North Launceston 13-17-95. Defeated Lauderdale 8-9-57. See you next week.